everybody on mute so that we can go ahead and begin our meeting. So I'm going to mute everybody. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Community Board Year 2021-2022. My name is Dr. Michael Burke, and I am Chairman of Community Board 12, and we would like to welcome all of you to our Community Board meeting. Before we begin this year, the first thing that we always do is we always say the Pledge of Allegiance. So I'm going to ask that you would join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. And so we're going to hold our hands over our hearts and we'll say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we say thank you, thank you, thank you for that. And I ask that you continue to join me in our silent word of prayer. I ask our brand new 47th Precinct Community Council President, Mr. Toba LaCrown, to bless us with a word of prayer. So, Mr. LaCrown.
Let's bow our heads. Father, Lord God in heaven, we bless your name. We magnify you. We adore you. We appreciate you. Worship you tonight. We thank you for this great privilege to come after the days running around, that we can converge here as a community, as a family, to meet and deliberate on issues affecting our community. We thank you for the gift of life, that regardless of the pandemic and all that is going on, earthquake, tornado, you're able to save us, give us opportunity, Lord, to be on the surface and not under. We thank you for your guidance and your protection. We thank you, Lord, for giving us hope, that regardless of what we're going through individually, as a community, as a nation, there is still hope at the end, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. Lord, we give you all the blessing. Thank you for every man, every woman, young and old, that are converging here tonight. Thank you for the leadership of this council, that as we continue to meet to discuss issues about injustices, issues about quality of life, issues about human rights, issues about security, public safety, Lord, we pray that you take preeminence and you will guide us, that our individuality will be nothing, but Lord, our selflessness will become uppermost. Lord, we ask all this in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Wow, Toba, that's just that prayer was really got me invigorated. So thank you for such an outstanding lead, and also thank you for being a partner with us with what you do at the 47th Precinct Community Council, and of course, and what we do here at Community Board 12. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So everybody, welcome. I mean, again, I know that we were supposed to meet in person, but unfortunately, we're still under COVID protocols due to that nasty variant, the Delta variant that's going on right now. And so, we will still be meeting virtually until January 15th, and hopefully we'll see where we are from that point forward. And then hopefully I'll get to see you again. For those individuals or board members that I've got to see in person already, it was great seeing you over the summer to had a chance to hang out with you or pass out surveys, and then we'll talk about that in a little bit. But more importantly, just to be able to see everybody and be able to break bread with board members. So again, thank you so much for just being the wonderful people that you are. So what I want to do is I want to share my screen because I'm going to need a motion on the agenda. And so what I want to do is make certain that I'm doing this properly. Oh, that's not what I want to share. Oops, here we go. So what I want to share is the agenda. And so the agenda will go as follows. So the first thing that we will do is we will talk about, we'll have our public gallery session. And the reason that we're going to do that is following. The community board has three primary tenets that we have. The first tenet, of course, is land use issues. So we vote and we consulted on land use issues to city planning and other agencies. The next thing that we do, of course, is budget consultations. And so, of course, that's going on right now, in which you, the community, get to tell us where you think monies are needed in order to tell our city council person so that we can actually vote on the budget. So again, that's ongoing, and I will talk about that in a little bit. But the most important part, of course, is to listen to the needs and concerns of our constituents. And thus, that's why we have a public gallery session. And so that session will be run by our first vice chair, Mr. Jeria Bennett. And of course, that is for community members only. Okay. So the public gallery session is for community members only. I'm looking at item number 2, and we will discuss that later. I need to do a little bit of homework first. So in other words, we're doing things by the book, and it's not that our representatives are not deserving of that, but I just want to make sure that I'm doing things properly. So I'm going to hold off on that. Next, we're going to hear from our elected officials, the ones that are here. So we already know that Assemblyman Dennewitz's representative is here, and he may be here himself. I see Marilek is here from the DA's office. I see someone is here from Councilman Riley's office. So you get to hear from our elected officials because, again, hearing from them is also important as well. Then, of course, I see Alexis Ruiz, who is here from the borough president's office, and so she will give greetings from the borough president. Then I will give my report, which of course I will not spend a lot of time on it because most of you have it already. And the district manager's report is also going out. And then we will talk about the board minutes, financial reports, and so forth. Then we're going to talk about committee recommendations. And I think this year, I'm going to try to make certain that we move that along a little bit faster. And so I'm going to talk about some parliamentary procedures that I've learned over the years, over the summer. And I'm glad to say I think Ms. Claude and Ms. Benitez joined on those calls. And so, we can go through this together. And then, of course, we have some old business that we have to take care of, mainly floor nominations, because, of course, we still need to have our elections, because, as you know, they were postponed. And so we will have our last bit of nominations. So our nominating committee chair will take care of that. And then, of course, we have our new business, which, of course, Ms. Coronel, who's the chair of our not-for-profit committee, will give the results of the community needs survey, the cursory results. And then we're going to introduce something new, which is a code of conduct policy that it appears is needed. And then, of course, the thing that I'm most excited about are the new member introductions. And so what I would like to do before going into community speaks is I would need a motion from the floor to accept the agenda with the modified amendments.
Barbara Gibson is second.
Second.
Barbara Gibson accepts your motions for your agenda.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Gibson. So Ms. Gibson has moved. I need a motion, so you can't accept it. So I need the motion properly moved first. So if you're going to do that, Ms. Gibson, say that you make a motion that you accept the minutes with the minor amendments, and then somebody will come in and second it.
I do.
I second.
All right, thank you. So it's been moved and properly seconded. Are there any objections?
No.
Without objection, so ordered. So again, so we're moving on to the public gallery section first. So here's how this works, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have Madam First Vice Chair do that. She's gonna explain the rules and go from there. So I'm gonna let her do that. So Madam First Vice Chair, the floor is yours.
Okay. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Community Board 12's meeting. Hello, everybody from last year. So good to see your faces. And everybody who's new, Tova, I'm so glad for you to be the president of the Precinct Council. Congratulations. And everybody who's new, I welcome you to our Community Board meeting. So we are going to have this public gallery right now. Each person gets 3 minutes. You get 3 minutes, and I'm going to ask the wonderful, illustrious John Isaac to keep time, okay? And just to let you know just about when it's about your time to be finished. I'm also going to ask, just for you to know, there is a reactions button on your computer. It's usually at the bottom of the computer. And I'm going to ask that you raise your hands. You can raise your hands now so that I'm aware that you are wanted to speak. Okay, so if you do raise your hands, by all means, you can speak. So this session right now is for community members only. Okay, all right. So let me see. I see the first hand rise is Toba. So Toba.
Thank you very much. Good evening, community. I just want to officially introduce myself as the president of the 47th Precinct Community Council. I know some of us are used to the council, do attend all these meetings together, and sometimes some of the issues that are supposed to go to council actually come to the board. So there is need for us to synergize in our meetings and what we do. So I want to say this to say that in the council, we want to try as much as possible to have in-person meeting. We tried it this month. It worked very well for us. We're going for it for October, and the next meeting is going to be coming up at New Testament Temple. We believe it's on Seymour by Boston Road. We're going to send our notice of meeting out very soon. So we want to try as much as possible to make sure that as long as we can accommodate it, we'll be meeting in person. So definitely the Prison Community Council is an organization, an outfit that actually form a bridge between the law enforcement of this community and the community. A point where we can equally act together, work together to respect the work of individual and also the dignity of the community. So I tell the people, the police are meant to protect, to preserve, and to deter crime. And they also, we as a people, we need to respect what they're doing. If we understand each other, then our jobs will be lessened. One, we all know we have shootings in this neighborhood. Some of these things could be prevented, but this is an avenue to come and talk about those things that you see. The crime in the neighborhood is different from community board. So I want to enjoin the community to make sure that we police ourselves. We don't necessarily need police if we do the right thing. That is my message for the people. But our assignment as a council is to make sure we carry that message to the community. So this period, we'll be going to different meetings with the aim of talking to them to let them know what the council is all about. One thing that we started newly is that on the council, we're going to be recognizing citizens that are doing above and beyond. So we call it Citizen Award, just like they do Cup of the Month every month. Now we have Citizen Award of the Month. So we give that to community individuals that are also doing the needful. So I enjoin you to be part of this. Let's have the conversation. A lot of things have changed with the police. It's not like the way it used to be. So but if we understand their work and their job, they will be able to respect each other. So just want to introduce myself here, and we'll be sending out emails to let us know what we have. Thank you very much, and I enjoyed this meeting.
Okay, thank you so much, Toba. All right. So I'm going to ask if you are not speaking to please mute your put your computers on mute. I mean, because I heard some background noise just a moment ago. All right. Is there anyone else? Anyone else? I don't see any hands raised. Okay, Daisy Perry. All right, Daisy Perry.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes.
Hi. Good evening, everyone.
Wait, your phone is kind of breaking up.
And I
Daisy.
don't need more lighting by the Metro North on Webster. It's dark when we come from work, and just like street lighting
Oh,
and like the sidewalk fixings. I don't know if that's this meeting.
okay.
And
Okay.
then how would I know about more meetings? Like, do I call to find out?
Okay, so as far as more meetings are concerned, you're on here now. You should be getting emails when there is general meetings that goes on that you can attend. As far as the Metro North, and it is dark. I could attest to that because I also am coming home. And in going on the Metro North in the morning is kind of dark. I'm not sure who that would go to. Maybe Mr. Burke. Dr. Burke, you could chime in and tell us who it would go to. Oh, no, no, no. I see Ursula. Ursula. Hey, Ursula.
So she broke up and I didn't hear the
Okay.
exact location.
She's saying the
Um,
Metro North.
Yes, Webster Avenue and 234th Street.
Okay, I'll
Thank
put it
you.
in for you
Thank you.
and I'll make sure you're on the mailing list.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. All right. So who is next? I see John Isaac.
Yeah, I just have a comment. Yesterday, I woke up and there was one.
Hang on. I'm sorry, John. John.
It's just for the
So
community.
I have to, being that you're a
In the
board member, let's talk about
board
what you
member.
got, if you can, and when it comes to us, okay?
Okay, I could say
All
before.
right, thanks, John. I'm sorry
Okay.
about that.
Cool.
You have Miss Willa. She has her hand raised.
Yes. Thank you, Alfredo. Hey, Alfredo. Thank you so much. Yes, Willa.
Good evening, all.
Yes.
I
Good
just
evening.
have a concern that perhaps we could get some help. The dead end block of Grace, the 4400 block,
Mm-hmm.
the weeds and trees have grown so that it's really unsafe. People are actually hiding in there and all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a matter of picking up trash because the people in the neighborhood pick up the trash. But is there any way that we could kind of get like the weeds and things cut down? I know that the guy that used to take care of Bissell Gardens, I think he's ill. So, by that happening, it's really unkept. And it's really unsafe because people could come out of the bushes at any moment and it gets very dark up there. So my concern is if there's any way, or should we notify someone to have the bushes and things cut down? I know one time the Parks Department would help, but I don't think they're doing anything now either. So
Okay.
I
So
was just wondering what we should do next.
where is that location again?
It's the 4400 block of Grace.
Okay.
The Bissell Gardens. It's part of
Yeah.
Bissell Gardens.
Okay. So
All right,
Ursula,
I got it. I'm gonna reach out to them right now.
Okay, because I know they had a cleanup, I think, last week.
Okay, yeah.
But again, too, it's not a matter of picking up trash. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Right, you need the weeds cut. I'm gonna reach out right now, okay?
Okay, because people are hiding in there.
All right, all right, I'll try to take care of it.
Greatly appreciate it, Ursula. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Willa. Thank you so much for that
welcome.
information. And now we have Barbara King.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Barbara King. I am the CEO and founder of a nonprofit organization called Take Trips MES, Mentally, Emotionally, and Spiritually. I work with the girls on 243rd Street. And what I'm looking to do is bring our services into those girls, because they have to travel just to get, job readiness skills. And it's a lot going on over there. And they're actually connecting with the gentleman or the sort of a gang on the corner of 241st Street. So my organization is trying to reach those individuals and bring some services there so they can have somewhere to go instead of having to travel so far and then travel back at night to 243rd Street, where they are most times getting into trouble. So we want to be able to help them, because I am right now working with detention youth. I'm an educator, so I educate youth in detention. So what we're trying to do is keep the recidivism rate from increasing. We don't want it to continue to increase. And what I'm seeing when I pass and I see I'm on White Plains Road and I see it, we're going to increase. And I see the girls where, you know, sometimes the officers are coming, they're pulling them out of the group home because they're putting up such a fight. But again, I can understand some of their fight and frustration, because they don't have money sometimes to travel to get the services, to have a mentor, to have job readiness skills. So this is something that I'm proposing that we need to bring to that neighborhood. And I'm seeing a lot of abandoned places, facilities, that I'm thinking we could utilize those facilities to help these youth that are kind of in trouble right now. So that's what we want to do with my organization.
Okay. And your organization name is?
It's Take Trips Mentally, Emotionally, and Spiritually.
Okay. All right. And it's located where?
We are actually located in Westchester County.
Okay.
But I work with the youth in the city, because I work for the New York City Department of Education. So I actually work for the LSP, the Limited Secure, detention. I did work in Horizon. I'm no longer that secure. So I'm actually in the limited secure placement setting.
Okay. And the area you're talking about specifically is around 243rd Street?
Right. The girls in the group home, they're on 243rd, but I've noticed a lot of empty spaces that could be utilized on 241st, on White Plains Road, in between that 241st and 243rd Street.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And I guess Ursula probably has that address, you know, so that we could give attention to that. And we will get back to you about, you know, about how we can address it.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Okay. Okay.
We have one more, Mark Waters.
Yes, I see Mark Waters.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me loud and clear? My name is Mark Walters, and I think I've actually spoke to the host before. Forgive me, I don't recall your name. But like I said before, I have lived in this neighborhood for half my adult life, for over 27 years. And the issue that has really been troubling me is the homeless encampment at the East 241st Street train station. At one point, they had like a red sofa that they were just sitting on. And Ms. Green was really instrumental in getting the sanitation department to actually remove that. And I just want to know what's being done, because you have the homeless who are camped out by the post office on 241st Street, and they're camped out by the train station. And what is being done in terms of to address the loitering and the homeless encampment?
Okay.
So because of the rules and regulations and laws, you can't force them to seek shelter. So we have reached out to the Department of Homeless Service, and we have reached out to the police department. I'm still working on it, but I don't have a real answer for you right now.
Right. I know police officers, and police department, they have some discretion in terms of selective enforcement, but these gentlemen are clearly violating loitering laws. So that you can address this, you know, that problem by actually saying that, hey, you guys are loitering, you have to move on. What is your business here? And the 47 precincts, they have actually decided that they're just not going to enforce these rules.
I can't comment on that. All I can say is that I put your complaints in.
Right.
Okay.
All right. And you text me, you email me. Yeah. I'm well aware. I got you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Walters. Now we have Esther Morrison.
Hang on, Madam First Vice, Miss Perry, Miss
Yes.
Daisy Perry's had her hand up for a while.
I know.
So
I think that's from before. Miss
okay.
Daisy Perry, is that true? Yeah, that's when she had.
Sorry, I didn't hear it. Sorry.
Do you have your hand up, or is that from before when you spoke?
I think that's from before. I don't know how to take it.
Okay, there you go. All right. So Esther Morrison.
Hi, everybody. I'm coming to talk with you about a concern that me and my neighbors between 219 and 220th Street on Barnes Avenue is having. On that corner of 220th Street, the storm waters from Ida overflowed that street drain, and our row of homes is at least I would say 10 homes on this block and going towards 220th and some down the other way. Our basements got flooded 2 feet. And it's a repeated loss that we are enduring. It also happened again at Tropical Storm Ida in July, and then it happened even worse in Tropical Storm Ida. And from what I understand, when we went down to the FEMA Command Center, they're saying that the Department of Environmental Protection is responsible for maintaining those street drains, and they haven't been doing that. At least we haven't seen it. And the Department of Buildings told us to it's public information to get that record to see how often they're maintaining that drain. But what I wanted to say was, since we went down to the FEMA Command Center, that they're asking us to get flood insurance for any future things, and they're requesting that certain things have to be done in the community so that we can have discounted points for our flood insurance. And a couple of those things was what storm water management system the DEP has, what drain system maintenance do they have. Those are things that will help us to have a reduced flood insurance. But my main concern is that our homes have suffered repeated loss anytime those storm drains overflow. That street on 220th Street and Barnes Avenue overflow, our homes have suffered damage. And we have rebuilt and put back on stuff, and it happens again. And in order for us to prevent any future damage, they're also saying that we're supposed to have like mapping. And from talking with the other neighbors, and some of them are on here tonight, talking with the other neighbors and stuff, 220th Street and Barnes Avenue is at the base and at the bottom of 4 hills. And our side of the block is at a lower elevation, so we are very vulnerable. So from what we understand, the Department of Buildings is saying that we need a surveyor and a civil engineer to help us figure out what we can do to help to prevent our homes from future damage. One thing that they're saying is that we have to flood proof our homes, and we've tried. The neighbors on this block have tried different things. Some neighbors got bigger drains, but it didn't work. Some neighbors resloped their driveway, but it didn't work. So that's the reason why we need some technical assistance from a surveyor or a civil engineer to tell us just what is going to work for us. And what we understand is that the outlet pipe that's underneath our house, in the front of our house, they said Department of Buildings said it is DEP's responsibility, and they're trying to say no, it's not. But we cannot go down to that level and replace that outlet pipe to connect to their city pipe, and DOB said it is DEP's responsibility. So we're asking you for your help. I understand while I was browsing the FEMA website that they have the BRIC grant opening up on the 30th that an organization or a group can apply for to help mitigate some of the hazards. So we're putting it out there for you guys. These are the homes from 219 to 220 West Avenue, and a little bit up further and a little bit down further. The
Okay.
church and a church and a family daycare.
Thank you, Miss Esther. Go ahead, Ursula.
Okay, so I spoke to Miss Esther. I reached out to DEP. I reached out to the controller's office. I reached out to DOT. I'm still waiting to hear back from DOT. As far as a surveyor, that is actually the homeowner's responsibility, but please tell me Robert Hall is here. Maybe NHS can help them.
Robert Hall? Well, okay, so
DEP is basically saying they've only had 3 complaints and it was a natural disaster.
Right.
DOT has not responded back to me.
Okay. John Isaac?
Ursula, one of the things we have to understand, this storm was different. You know, this was like the perfect storm, and this was actually a 100-year storm. So the drains that we have designed at DEP cannot handle this water. In terms of engineering, I'm gonna put something in the chat. A friend of mine is part of a group called Engineers Without Borders, and they come out and give free engineering services. So I'll put all the information in the chat if they want to like free consultation, and they don't charge. So, you know, it's worth giving them a call.
All right, thanks, John.
Okay. Thank you. So is there anyone else from the gallery? Community Speaks. I don't see any hands up. Okay, so I want to thank everybody for the information that you've brought to our attention. And Ursula has the addresses, and I saw that Miss Perry, who has to leave, has put the address in the chat for exactly where this situation was. And John Isaac is putting the information in the chat. And right now, I just want to thank you, and I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Burke.
Okay, thank you, Madam First Vice Chair, and my apologies for Ms. Perry. For whatever reason, I thought that we had lowered her hand, but so that's, you know, you have the eagle eye. I guess I need to eat more carrots to that nature. So in any event, my apologies to you. But I would also to Ms. Morrison, I would also, if I were you, I would also file a claim with the city. If you go to nyc.gov/IDA. And I would give it a shot as well. I mean, I don't know whether or not they're going to pay for it or not, but you know, that's something that I would also look into as well if I were you. So with that being said, and with the first vice chair turning it over, we are now going to move into business session, which of course we get to hear from our elected officials. So first up, of course, is Councilman Raleigh. So I know I saw someone here from his office.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Hi, everyone. So I see some familiar faces, but my name is Cynthia. I'm from Councilmember Kevin Riley's office. I do constituent services. I've put my email in the chat before, and I'll put it again. We just wanted to let everyone know about the new initiative that we have with the Wildcat Corporation to help clean up the district. If you know of any spots in the district that need some attending to, that have like improperly disposed of trash, just let us know. Again, I'm going to put the information in the chat, but you can also call 718-684-5509.
You wouldn't mind repeating that? That was kind of sort of fast. Can you slow that down, please?
All right, so it's 718-684-5509. That's our office number. Our office, we're open for very, very, very limited services because it's currently under construction. construction, but we hope to conclude construction by the end of the year.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much, Ms. Briscoe. I also see someone, I'm looking at something in the chat and I just lost it here. Even though it's not an elected official, I see where Mr. Miche Gaddis is here. So I'll kind of sort of, I know we're going back to the, I'm sorry, Madam First Vice. I know you said he was having connectivity issues, and I'm looking to see if I can see him because he's from the Northeast Bronx YMCA. So I see here. So I'm gonna allow you to say because what you have to say is very, very important. So I'm going to talk about you in my report as well. So welcome.
Great, Mr. Burke. Thank you. I'm not sure if everyone can hear me, but very pleased to join the meeting this evening. But yes, my name is Miche Gaddis. I'm the new executive director at the Northeast Bronx Y. We've been open since September 7th, and just want to just say, listen, we're here for the community, and in any way we can work with all constituents and all stakeholders in the Northeast Bronx. And I'll put my information in the chat room, so everyone can please feel free to stop by. We're at 1250 East 229th Street, and our hours, and I'll put all the hours and everything in there. But we're here to, service and access for our facility, and I will definitely take you on a tour if you like. And hopefully we can host in January our, the first in-person meeting if that's possible. So just wanted to put that out there.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I see Mr. DeCastro on it. As I said, I'm going to say something in a little bit as it pertains to the YMCA, but I give Mr. DeCastro an early shout out, even though I'm going to say something in a little bit. But the one thing that I can say is that you guys have a beautiful facility, and that's one of the things that we actually talked about was actually having a meeting in there because there's plenty of space. So like I said, I'm sure hopefully you reach out to me. Of course, you have Ursula and our district manager, George Torres. So between the three of us, we should be able to maybe make something happen, especially if we have to be socially distanced. So that's something that, we were already thinking about at the groundbreaking. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. So thank you.
We look forward to hosting.
Not a problem. And welcome. So next, Councilman Eric Denowitz. Is there someone here from his office, or is the councilman here himself? I don't know, but is someone here from Councilman Denowitz's office?
Hi, good night, everyone. Sabrina Campbell here from Councilmember Denowitz's office.
Hi, Sabrina. How are you doing? Oh, one other thing I need to ask you. So if you're not speaking, please make certain that you are muted. All right. So there are some people here that are have their mics open. So if you're not speaking, please make certain that you're muted. So go ahead, Sabrina. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So what news do you have from us for the councilman? Excuse me, for us from the councilman, excuse me.
So just some updates. Our office has begun meeting with groups to discuss ways to increase cleanups and landscaping improvements throughout the area. The council member allocated almost $300,000 to extra sanitation services as well as landscaping services throughout the district. We asked that, everyone email, I'm going to place it in the email, but just email our office with any pictures or locations of areas that need to be cleaned up. Obviously, we know that White Plains Road definitely needs around the clock cleaning, and we're working with sanitation as well as groups such as ACE and Wildcat to see if we can increase the maintenance of White Plains Road and just any other areas in the district that are high traffic areas in the district that need consistent cleaning. I'm still working on, or our office is still working on remedying the Nareed Avenue Bridge issue with the tractor trailers and the trucks, the garbage, and seeing if we can change the signage, but as well as hosting some sort of roundtable conversation between the community board, our office, Councilmember Riley's office, and the respective agencies that need to be involved to see if we can find an alternate site in the area to have these trucks park, and we can get back that bridge to what it originally was, which was truck and garbage free. Some legislative updates. The council met today for a stated charter meeting and passed 10 pieces of legislation. This includes package of bills to provide greater workplace protections for app-based delivery workers, a bill that Councilmember Dinowitz sponsored to provide severance pay for laid off hotel workers. The council member will also be leading a veterans committee hearing on the 27th. The topic of the meeting or the hearing will be assisting veterans to upgrade their discharge status to receive benefits, but our office is open 9:30 to 5 p.m. We are assisting constituents. We aren't hosting anyone in office, but we are available to visit sites and to have constituents stop by. And we can also be reached over the phone, but I will put our office's contact information in the chat.
Okay, so thank you very, very much. Please give Councilman Dinowitz our best, and I look forward to telling him, please give the kids my best. He'll know what I'm talking about when I say that, and just give him our best. So thank you very, very much.
Will do.
Okay, so next is someone here from Senator Jamal Bailey's office. Okay. Hearing none, seeing none. I know someone is here. Angela's here from Senator Biagi's office because I saw her. So, Angela, how are you doing? Welcome aboard.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Nice to see some familiar faces and some new faces, and I hope you all had a nice summer. I feel like I can say that now that it's officially fall. I just have a few updates. I am a member of Senator Biagi's constituent services team, for anyone who doesn't know me. Just in terms of what we've been doing this summer, we've been very busy canvassing the district, spreading the news and information about some of the assistance programs that were passed during last year and this year's, but the last legislative session in Albany. So that includes the emergency rental assistance, the small business grants, and things like that. So that was keeping us very busy this summer, and I just wanted to mention those programs for anyone who doesn't know about it. The Excluded Workers Fund as well is another one. For anyone who has questions, please feel free to reach out to me either in the chat on a private message, or you can call or email our office. And just some legislative updates in terms of, I guess, within the last 2 weeks or so. Earlier this month, the Senate did go back into special session to extend the eviction moratorium. So to strengthen it and extend it until January 12th, 2022. So the change here was that it appropriated another $250 million for emergency rental assistance to help tenants and landlords tenants who are struggling to pay rent and landlords who are waiting on those payments. And one thing I wanted to mention that is a big change is that the extension now features a nuisance standard to eviction protections. So it provides landlords basically with a basis to start an eviction proceeding against a tenant who is covered by the law, but who is being a nuisance or who has inflicted damage onto the property that the landlord owns. There's also a due process mechanism so that landlords can actually challenge a tenant's hardship declaration, which sort of changes the application process. But in general, we're really hoping to get the emergency rental assistance funding out for tenants and landlords alike. I know that people are really waiting on that. So if anyone has any questions about that program or any of the other programs that I mentioned, like I said, please don't hesitate to reach out, even if you don't live in our district. I know that some of you live in our district, Woodlawn, and others don't, but please don't be a stranger. And I did want to mention, I left in the chat, Ms. Morrison had been speaking about some of the damage that unfortunately a lot of us had suffered after Ida. And I left a link, I will post it again, I left a link to file a claim with the City Comptroller's office. So if anyone feels that the damage that happened to their homes or their residences was a result of city negligence, people are being encouraged to file that claim there to see, if the Comptroller's office can look into it further and address some issues, and hopefully, repair things and resolve things. And that's also in addition to the FEMA stuff. But there's a lot going on. But if anyone has any questions about anything I mentioned, I just threw a lot at you. Please feel free to ask here, or shoot me an email, or give me a call. And that's it. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Ms. Conley. And please give Senator Biaggi our best, and we look forward to the day where she can come and bring us greetings herself, okay?
Of course. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Next is Assembly Speaker Carl Hasey. Is there anyone here from his office here to bring us greetings? Okay, hearing none. Moving forward, Assemblyman Dinowitz, I already know that Ibanez is here because he's already told us that he's here, and he's introducing someone new to us. So, Mr. Nez, how are you doing, sir?
Oh, wonderful, Dr. Burke. Thank you very much. I just want to tell everybody who wasn't here earlier, after 9 long years, wonderful years, really, unfortunately, I'm going to be stepping down as the Wakefield representative. I actually have a colleague, Danella Smith, who recently joined us, who lives in Wakefield and is, quite the co-worker. She'll be covering the meetings going forward. As a side note, I'm actually trying to get the assemblyman on, but as usual, WebEx doesn't seem to agree with his laptop. So he's attempting to sign on, but until then, I'm going to hand it over to Danella, and I'm going to leave it in her very capable hands. So Danella, if you're there.
Yes, good afternoon. Good evening. My name is Danella Smith. I am a constituent liaison for Assemblymember Dinowitz's office. I started last month. As Ivan said, I do live in the district, and it's nice to meet everyone.
Okay, well, first of all, Ms. Smith, welcome. Welcome to the team. Welcome to Community Board 12. And, we are glad that you are here, and anything that you need from us, we look forward to hearing you grace us with your presence from this point forward. Mr. Nez, on a personal note, like I said, you've been absolutely outstanding, assisting me as I've assumed this role of chair, and even when I was stepping in as acting chair and first vice chair. So I want to congratulate you on moving forward to your next endeavors, and that you always have a friend in me personally, as well as I can probably say that you have a friend with us here in Community Board 12. So is there anything that you need from us? Just feel free to let us know. And again, thank you for your service to Assemblymember Dinowitz as well as to us. And we look forward to hearing nothing but good things from you from this point forward.
Appreciate it, Dr. Burke, and certainly I'll keep in touch. I'm still going to be working for the Assemblyman, but I know Danella is going to do great things with you guys, and I look forward to hearing what happens going forward in the district. So thank you to all the members, and I appreciate it.
Well, like I said, thank you. And Ms. Smith, again, welcome aboard, and we look forward to hearing from you, okay?
Thank you.
All right, you got it. So next is Nicholas Vasquez, who is here from Congressman Bowman's office. So Nicholas, I do hope that you are here, because I know I saw you put something in the chat. So Nicholas?
Yes, I'm here, Dr. Burke.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Well, first thing first, I do want to let you know, I remember our conversation.
Yeah, I remember. I remember.
Yeah,
so what's going on with that?
You'll be hearing from me real soon.
Okay, great. I remember our conversation very well, and like I said, I meant to give you a call, but I forgot. I got tied up with other things, so
it's all
yeah,
good.
I
Don't even worry
apologize.
about it. I completely understand. But with that said, I don't want to take up too much time. Real quick, I did want to speak to Miss Esther Morrison's issue. Miss Morrison, I know you have reached out to our office, and one of my coworkers did reach out today to speak with you. They weren't able to get through, but tomorrow we will be reaching out. As far as what we can do to help, we are able to connect with FEMA, and we can see what's going on. We can't demand anything. but we can definitely try to get a clear idea of what's going on and how we can get you some more assistance. So you'll be hearing from our office tomorrow, Ms. Morrison. I'll make sure of it. But on a separate note, I just, pardon me?
Now the floor is yours.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard somebody. With that said, yes, it's been a busy summer, guys. I hope everybody's had a good one. But we had a pretty strong summer. The congressman was at a bunch of events. But right now, our main focus moving forward, we're gonna have a series of events coming up. I don't want to speak too much as to what, but be prepared. We will be sending out mass notifications to everybody who signed up for our newsletters, as well as to the community boards and other elected officials. Our focus right now is the Hurricane Ida resources, and currently we've had a large number of shootings. I want to say mass of shootings within the district. So we will be coming out with something to address that as well. But our office is still open for constituent services 9 to 5. You guys can call us at 718-530-7710, or you could email me directly. My email is in the chat. I will put it again though. If for those who who'd like me to say it out loud, it's gonna be NIKOLAS period Vasquez, V as in Victor, ASQUEZ, and that's gonna be at mail.house.gov. It's a pleasure to be back, everybody. Hope you guys are doing good. Thank you and have a good night.
I was muted there, Nicholas. So on a personal note, as I said, it was absolutely fantastic to see you and chat with you. And like I said, I'll be giving you a call about our conversation. Okay?
For sure.
Not a problem. Okay. So next, of course, is one of my favorite people, Miss Marilek Santana from DA Darcel Clark's office. So, Miss Santana, how are you doing? Actually,
Sorry,
okay,
I
how
just
are you?
because I
Hi,
was on
Marilek. You
mute.
doing
How
all
are
right?
you? I'm good. I'm good. So good evening, everyone. My name is Marilek Santana Tavares. I'm from the Bronx District Attorney's Office. I do have an announcement that our office will be hosting on October 16th on Saturday between the hours of 9:30 and 12:30. This will be our fourth annual 5K run, walk, roll to end domestic violence. So anyone that's interested in attending, it's free. I will be sending out a blast email tomorrow. This will be a rain or shine event. We have a lot of activities and incentives to give out to the people. So please, if you're interested, please join us. We will be there on October 16th. And that's pretty much it for now. We're working on a few other projects that we can't really mention yet, but once those are finalized, we will be able to spread the word. So if anyone has any questions or concern, I put my information in the chat box. You can ask me now, ask me later, however you please.
Okay, thank you, Marilek.
Thank you.
And by the way, please give Erica our best too. And it was great seeing you the other day, and it's great seeing you here this evening. So again,
Thank
and
you. I will.
please give your baby our best as well. Okay.
I know everybody hears it.
I know, well, that's okay. I mean, you let us know that you were a new mom, and so we just want to say thank you. I mean, we really appreciate what you do in the DA's office, and so I just wanted to say that as well. Okay, not a problem. Okay, I have to ask once more because I'm hearing some whistling in the background. If you are not speaking, please mute yourself. Okay, it is disrespectful to those who are speaking if you have your mics open. Okay, the information that our elected officials are providing is critical for everybody, and so I'm going to need everybody to mute themselves. So if you are not speaking, and that should be everyone. So thank you very, very much. Is there anyone here from Controller Scott Stringer's office? Okay. Hearing none. And is there anyone here from the Community Affairs Unit at Mayor de Blasio's office? Okay. So hearing none. So with that, we move into the next portion of our agenda. And so, we hear from our Bronx Borough President, Ruben Diaz Jr. And so representing him, always, I see something from Mr. Ned. So hang on for a second, Mr. Ned. Let me get to Alexis Ruiz from the Borough President's office, and then I will open up the floor. Okay, so just give me a second. So, Ms. Ruiz, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, good evening, Dr. Burke.
How are you
Good
doing?
evening, everyone. I'm happy to see everyone on the call and hear everyone. It's been a while. Welcome, my new board members. I'm so excited that you're here. I have a few updates. So there will be an orientation for new board members on October 18th at 6 p.m. An email is going to go out early next week with further details. And then the most recent Borough President's newsletter was sent out to board and members. It contains the most recent information on both COVID and assistance for Hurricane Ida victims. Ms. Morrison, I want us to touch off base. I know that I wrote to you, but just in case for anyone else that's having any similar issues, please reach out to me. I'm going to put my email in the chat. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm going to be here for the remainder of the meeting. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Alexis. So, Mr. Nez, you say Assemblyman Denowitz is here. I don't see him, but I take your word for it. So you said he's here?
Yeah, sorry, Dr. Burke. He was in the preview section and thought he was in the meeting, so I believe he should.
I see him. He is here. There he is. Assemblyman Denowitz, how are you doing? You're muted, Assemblyman. You're muted. Okay. Alvin, can you do me a favor? Can you help the Assemblyman out? Because for whatever reason, we can't hear him. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I was actually trying to call him directly. Give me 1 second. I apologize for this.
Oh, look at that. There's a button that says unmute. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. I'm trying not to laugh, Assemblyman Denowitz here. We can hear you now. So that's it. How are you doing?
I could do a lot of things, but working WebEx doesn't seem to be one of them. So it's okay. I'll say a few words and I'll keep it brief because I know I should have been on a few minutes earlier. So everybody, first meeting of the season. So I just wanted to mention a few things. I know that Councilmember Dinowitz's representative spoke. I participated in not one, but two cleanups organized by a great group called Wakefield for Change, along with Councilmember Dinowitz and State Senator Jamal Bailey. And we spent time cleaning up the area at the top of White Plains Road and some of the streets on the side. And it was really great. A lot of litter accumulates, but there were a lot of volunteers from the community who were part of this. And that really makes me feel good that so many people participate. So for those who did, thank you. I just wanted to let all of you know, some of you may live in apartments, many of you may live in homes. We passed the eviction and foreclosure moratorium extension on September 1st at the beginning of this month. And that was my legislation. I was the author and lead sponsor of it. And before I even get to that piece, part of it was legislation that allowed community boards and other agencies to continue to meet on Zoom and on WebEx, and to meet electronically and remotely, because without that, you would have been forced to meet in person. And I don't know that everybody was ready to do that, given the fact that the pandemic is still raging. But that legislation, in addition to allowing you to meet like this, extended protections for small landlords, including homeowners, two-family homes, as well as tenants through January 15th. And hopefully by then people will be in much better shape. We provide also $12.5 billion to help tenants pay back rent to landlords, which is important not only for the tenant, obviously for the landlords. And we're not just talking about apartment buildings. We are talking about people who live in, who have a house and rent the second unit to a tenant. So hopefully that be helpful to a lot of people. The other thing I wanted to mention, I know that at the last meeting of your, I think it was land use and housing, you had a presentation about Wakefield City. Danella from my staff was at the meeting. I wasn't able to get there in time, but I've been briefed on this proposal, and it's a huge proposal. And so what I look forward to is just hearing from people what their thoughts are. I know there's a lot more discussion that has to take place. It's as large a project as ever has been built in, or potentially maybe built in my district ever, 1,200 units. So that has a huge impact on the community. So I think it's important to hear from people and what their thoughts are. Is it too big? Is it providing the right type of housing? Should it be there at all? Will there be a school? How is it going to impact transportation and so on? So I really want to hear from people because I can't think of anything that could impact the community more than that. And finally, I'll mention that I went to the first in-person meeting of the Woodlawn taxpayers last week. They hadn't met since before the pandemic, and most of the people were very welcoming and nice, and we discussed some important issues. So I was glad to actually see people. I'm glad to see you all on my computer screen, but I would love to see everybody in person, and I can't wait we can do that again. So that's it. That's my brief report. If you have any questions, otherwise I will, let you get on to the rest of your business.
Well, Assemblyman Dumas, first of all, I echo your sentiments personally as far as meeting in person goes. And it was, truth be told, it was refreshing. I know that, we're our 47th Precinct Community Council President, actually, they met in person. It was just refreshing to see everybody. So I'm disappointed personally that we're not meeting in the carriage house. But as you stated, the pandemic is still ongoing until, we get everybody vaccinated that is eligible to be vaccinated, so that we can mitigate this pandemic. Then, of course, that is an issue. As far as Wakefield Village is concerned, I know that you, nice thing about the Land Use Committee is that entire meeting is on our YouTube channel, so you could always go back and look at it. I, like you, will, reserve judgment because, again, it's not what about we think, but it's about what the community thinks. And so, I think we take the proper approach and doing that and see, what the community thinks, and then we can move forward from there. On a personal note, it was great seeing you this summer. I at least got the opportunity to see you and interact with you in person this summer. And so I look forward to being able to do that again. So again, thank you for what you do for us.
I can't wait.
Not a problem. We appreciate what you do for us, Assemblyman Dumas. So thank you very, very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. I'm up here muting myself, and I don't know why. So I see a note from our good friends at City Planning. So Mr. Manny Lagares is here, and he wants to introduce a new colleague to us. So Mr. Lagares, how are you doing, sir? Manny?
Manny, you're muted.
Okay, so Manny left. Okay, so how are you doing, Ms. Davis? So he says that you are the new person. So welcome.
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Laura Davis. I'm the new city planning liaison to Board 12. It's really nice to meet you all. I look forward to working with everyone.
Okay, well, welcome aboard. Again, we're glad to have you. And again, I guess so Manny is moving on. Is that it?
Yes, Dr. Burke.
Yes, how are you doing, Manny?
Tonight is my last Community Board 12 meeting. I feel a little sad.
Oh, geez, Manny, you're leaving us?
Well, I'm leaving the board. I've been handling two boards, boards 9 and 12.
Okay.
We have a very short staff. We have 12 people on staff, 12 boards, and we have a deputy director, office manager. So some of us are covering more than one board. And we're starting to get new staffs coming in. And I've been relieved of having two boards. So in a way, I'm sad to lose Board 12 because I've been getting to know the board. I've met with you and George, and we've discussed rezoning, housing issues, etc. And it was very exciting. And I know that Laura Davis is going to do a great job. Please welcome her to your board.
Well, Manny, we will definitely welcome Ms. Davis, but geez, Manny, it was just so much fun. It's just sometimes just getting into it with you, and it wasn't personal, but we had to really protect the needs of our district. But on a serious, I mean, you've been very, very good bringing me up to speed as well as the city planning team. So Carol Seymour and Sean Breedy and yourself and that entire team. So I just want to say on behalf of Community Board 12, again, thank you so much. You have to come in every now and then at a land use committee meeting because we just have to see your face, man, if nothing else. So again, thank you for the work that you did at City Planning as our liaison. And Ms. Davis, we look forward to welcoming you. And as I said, and hopefully, as I said, you will serve us as well as Manny did. So again, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Not a problem. So with that, it's actually now time for the community chairperson's report. So it is now time for me to give my report. And so I am not going to read it because it is very lengthy. And so I'm just going to go over some highlights of my report. So as I said before, it's 6 pages long, and I'm not going to sit here and read the whole thing. So as I said, most of you board members as well as community members has it. So I want to highlight a couple of events. So 5, 6, and 7 were events in which we pass out our surveys. So myself, along with our first vice chair, Ms. Sajiri Bennett, and as well as our not-for-profit committee chair, Ms. Beatrice Coronel, we were at Speaker Hasey's event as well as, excuse me, Senator Jamal Bailey's event, as well as National Night Out. And at National Night Out, Mr. Alfredo Figueroa, who's chair of our Public Safety Committee, actually helped hand out surveys as well. And so Ms. Cornell is going to be talking about that in a little bit. One of the highlights, I think, for me, as we get to, well, actually, before I do that, so I actually attended the parliamentarians workshop of Metro New York. And so there was some good some good information that was garnered from that. And hopefully we will be implementing some of that tonight, especially when it comes to committee reports, so that we can move our meetings along even faster. And so I was going to explain what those are. The session on August 5th talked about mainly committee meetings, and the session on August the 19th was for general boards. And so, as I said, I know Ms. Benitez was there, and I think in fact, I know I saw Ms. Claude at the committee meetings, and I want to say I saw Ms. Sadie too at one of those meetings. So that's what's going on. And so, again, I'm going to use parliamentary procedure a little bit more effectively this year to hopefully get the meetings to go a little bit faster. One thing that I need to mention, of course, is that the COVID-19 testing center has actually been demobilized. So we actually now have our space back, but unfortunately, we don't have it back because we are not there. We're still meeting virtually. And on tonight, it may be a good thing because, of course, it is raining. And so, of course, we can always sing in the rain, but it's kind of sort of good that we're meeting virtually as well. But if you still need to get COVID-19 testing, of course, right now there's a mobile van that is outside the community board office. So there is still mobile testing that is going on with that. As stated before, at the 47th Precinct Community Council meeting, again, we were passing out surveys, but more importantly, outside of Mr. Crown being sworn in as a president, our very own Alfredo Figueroa is appointed the Sergeant at Arms for the 47th Precinct Community Council. So I would like for everybody to give Alfredo a round of applause and or congratulate him in the chat because he's well deserving of that. I think one of the coup de grace for me over the summer, outside of seeing many of you board members, was of course the Northeast Bronx YMCA dedication and ribbon cutting. And I see Mr. DeCastro here. And at this moment, I want to give tribute to the elders, because if it were not for Mr. DeCastro, if it were not for Ms. Shirley Fearon, if it were not for the efforts of the speaker and the other elected officials who generated monies for that project in addition to the YMCA, but more importantly, if it were not for the Northeast Bronx Community Coalition, which a lot of elders are on that commission. Some have gone home to be with the Lord, but some are still here amongst us. And so their names are on a beautiful plaque at the Northeast Bronx YMCA. So if you have not been to the YMCA, I ask that you please go and take a visit. It is an absolutely stunning facility. And quite frankly, it is more than large enough for us to host an in-person meeting, especially if we have to be socially distant. So again, that's something to think about. But again, if it were not for the elders like Mr. DeCastro and Ms. Fearon and Mr. Samuel Granby and others, Miss Bunny, and I always forget Miss Bunny's real name, but Miss Gill, I know was one of the elders that was on there, and so many others. If it were not for them, it would not be for people like myself or Clinton or Alfredo or Jerry Beatrice to be able to take on what the legacy that they left us. And so, Mrs. Castro, again, thank you for your work in the YMCA. I also want to say that I had the opportunity to really hang out with our immediate past chairman of Community Board 12, Dr. Hall. And so he and I not only sat next to each other during the ceremony, but really got to talk to him about a lot of things that were happening. And well, is pick his brain for some advice. And so it was really great to see Dr. Hall. He sends his well wishes to you all, as well as seeing some former board members, Walter McNeil and Hillary Bloomfield as well. Bronx budget consultations are going on right now. So committee chairs and community members, if there's anything that you would like to see, a la, I heard more services, more sanitation, more police, so forth and so on, this is the time to bring that forward. I'm going to talk about some things right quick. As far as the MTA is concerned, there was a joint meeting of the Borough Board in the Borough Severs Cabinet. And so at the last Transportation Committee meeting, someone was talking about the Bronx Bus Network redesign. Well, the MTA board votes on that project this coming December. So the public outreach has already taken place and is being implemented in 2022. And I'm happy to report that Gun Hill Road has been chosen to be expanded, have expanded bus service or expanded bus priority due to the high volume that we have on Gun Hill Road. And most important is that we, in particular in the Bronx, experience a smaller dip in bus ridership than the rest of the city. So in other words, our borough rode the bus more during the pandemic than any of the other boroughs. And I guess that's due to the working nature of which our borough is. And so again, that is a good thing. So the only other thing I'm going to wind up with, let's see, I don't want to, I don't want to forget this. This is very, very important. Is that I'm looking at something that I need to mention right now, and let me just get to it as far as Bronx Borough consultations, because this is very, very important. So I'm switching pages here, so hopefully you can see this. If you are in the confines of Community Board 12, or if you're in the Bronx in general, there are paid internship programs in life sciences, in particular with life science companies here in New York City, for undergraduate and graduate students who live or go to school in the city. Now, what the city's trying to do is they're trying to get more people into sciences and STEMs, okay? And so I have the application information here is on the website, and hopefully you can see my page. If not, I'll make certain to put it in the chat. One of the questions that I asked, and I'm losing my notes here, it's probably because my notes are all over the place. But one of the questions that I asked was there a GPA requirement for this program? And the answer is no. As long as you are a student, in particular, undergraduate or graduate student, and in particular, if you're a student of color, then of course this program is for you. So please, if you are in the confines of Community Board 12, please look into this program. Another question that I asked, again, because most of you know that I'm a scientist myself, another question that I asked was, are you looking to extend to other science programs? Are you looking for mathematicians? Are you looking for engineers and so forth and so on? And that's something that they are developing right now. So again, that's something that is coming down the pike a little bit later on. So I just want to leave with that. Last but not least, I want to talk about the vaccination rates that we have here in our borough. So as I always do, I put up vaccination information on in my report, and I also put the information where you can go get a vaccine. Just to let you know that in zip code 10466, we are at a 47.43% rate for everybody being fully vaccinated. So that is the second lowest in the Bronx. Thank goodness it's not the lowest in the city. So we're no longer the lowest in the city. So that's the good news. However, we're the second lowest in the Bronx. So I'm hoping that we can get our vaccination numbers up. So if you're within the sound of my voice, okay, please know that the vaccine is safe. How do I know that? Because a colleague of mine, even though I do not know her personally, she was mentored by someone who mentored me, who just happened to graduate from Hampton, by the way. But nonetheless, she is the mentee of someone from HBCU. And as I said, she helped develop the Moderna vaccine. And it's the same technology that's used to go in the Pfizer vaccine. And as I said, it was a young sister that did it. So although I never met her per se, I know the person that mentored her. So please go get the vaccine. It is safe, and it will keep you, more importantly, from being lost to this treacherous virus. So on that note, I am done, and I'm going to turn this over to Ursula. I don't know if she's going to give the district manager's report or not, but if not, we can go directly into the board minutes.
No, I emailed it out.
Okay, you sent it out? Okay, and George is like me, so I apologize. I was a little lengthy, but there were some things that I want to cover. But as far as reading the report, it's been sent out, so everybody can read it. All right. So with that being said, I thought I saw something in the chat. Oh, so I think someone said, yes, our former district manager, Carmen Rosa, was on the plaque, and that's true. I thought I saw something from someone else, from Councilman Riley's office, but I am not certain if I did or not. So, okay, so I was just seeing something out the corner of my eye. Okay, so next we're going to go to the board minutes. So I know Carla is here, and I know that she's still working on them. And so I don't know, Carla, if you want to say anything or you want me to just move on.
Yes, so I'm sorry. Due to COVID brain, I'm still running behind. So if we could move on, that would be good.
Okay, not a problem, Carla. So just go ahead and mute yourself. I mean, I know that you're working on it. You and I have spoken over the summer, so I know that we will have a list of minutes to approve. But the main thing is, as long as you get better. Likewise, with our financial reports, I was talking to our wonderful treasurer, Ms. Dickerson, and she has some news for us. So, Tolene, I know that you're here because I've seen you. So.
Yes, good evening, family. How are you? I hope everybody is well. It's so good to see your faces after my adventure. God bless everybody. The financial report is very simple, very easy. We are currently at $994. That's our balance. I didn't get a lot of sunshine fund money, but this is a brand new year. We need to start sending our money in. You can send it by check, drop it off at the office. Make sure you call ahead to see if Ursula is there. She'll be more than happy to accept it, she told me. But we need to start paying the Sunshine Fund. The Sunshine Fund is now going to be, after a little canvassing and speaking with some of the board members, it is now going to go to $35 for the year. So please make sure you can send that by a check, or you could drop it off, but make sure Ursula is there, or you can mail it. Again, so glad to see everybody's wonderful faces and glad that you're healthy. If you have any questions for me, I will make sure my information is in the chat, but you all have it anyway. And we can go on to the next wonderful person.
Well, that will be committee reports, Madam Treasurer, but thank you so much. So let me just reiterate what our treasurer has stated. So we use the Sunshine Funds for a lot of things. If you remember about, I want to say either in April or May, we actually talked about getting community board pins with Sunshine Fund money. And I could say that over the summer, you know, I attended the Bronx Borough Board meeting, and I think Community Board 9, I think it wasn't 8, I want to say it was Community Board 9. They actually have those pins that I was talking about. So they have the Community Board pins, in which is just like what the electeds have, and that's what I was thinking about, what we want and needed, and I think that's what we want. So Community Board 9 has them. We want them. So let's pay, you know, $35 at a minimum so that we can start getting the pins for the community board members that want them. Let me just say that. All right. So, and maybe we need to make that a separate line item, but we'll go from there. Okay. But we could talk about that, Madam Treasurer, as well as the board. So now we're on to, we're moving right along. So we're at committee reports. And so here's one of the things, and I'm glad Mrs. Clyde is there. I see your beautiful face, Mrs. Clyde. So, I mean, Ms. Benitez, I see where you're there because you can help me out with this. So one of the things that we learned at the parliamentary meetings was that with committee reports, and in particular recommendations, normally what we've been doing is voting to accept the report and then voting on the motion or the action of the report. That is totally incorrect. All right. So that's not how we do it. Okay. And I know that because A, they mentioned it, B, I asked the question, C, it's on the website that I went to double check, and D, it's in our community board handbook. So the way that we should be doing things is that once, so for instance, land use is going to be up first. So we're going to hear from land use tonight. We're going to hear from parks and recreation. We're going to hear from economic development. And as I said, transportation. And then we're also going to, at some point, hear from nominating. And so what it is they make the recommendation, and then, you know, they make the recommendation in the motion. It does not need a second. So, and then of course, we call a question and then go from there. So I have my procedure here to make certain that, you know, I'm going along. So hopefully that'll get us moving a little bit faster, because it's what, 8:28. And hopefully we can be out of here. And then in particular, because I want to get to the new member introductions. So right now, the chair recognizes Mr. Stricker, if he's here, because Attorney Singh is can't make it tonight. If Mr. Stricker is here, the floor is the chair recognizing Mr. Stricker.
I'm here, Doctor.
How you doing, Mr. Stricker? The floor is yours.
Okay. Can I have the ceiling too, please?
You most certainly can, Mr. Stricker.
Okay, thank you. The Land Use Committee met, and the first people that spoke are the people who want to build Wakefield apartments, which is over 1,100 apartments. I believe it's in 6 buildings and maybe 7. When it enters from the 241st Street Bridge into the site, there's going to be a supermarket and other stores on the site also. And we told them what we would be looking for, and they plan to, if approved, and it hasn't been approved, they have a lot of work to do. They have to build water tunnels under Metro North tracks. They have to get an agreement with Metro North to extend their platform at Wakefield Station. And we're looking at other transportation issues for the people who live there, who will live there. One is 100% senior citizen, and I think there's one that's all affordable, so-called affordable. I have my own thoughts on what's affordable and what's not, and other buildings which will be co-ops. They'll be owned by the people who live there. So we got a commitment from them. Since this is going to be an ongoing process, we will meet regularly with them at the Land Use Committee to see how things are developing. As of right now, we have not approved anything. We'll be looking at what they provide to us, and we'll go on from there. The second thing that happened at the Land Use Committee, which we voted on, we had a presentation by DOT and city planning about these sidewalk and street side restaurant eating locations adjacent to the restaurants. By the year 2023, DOT and city planning want to have a conforming shape of what the street side restaurants will look like. And, they gave us a rundown that a lot of stuff that's out there now will not be there when they make the change. But they're not going to make the change 1, 2, 3. They're going to do it over a period of time after they have hearings, because the meeting that we had basically could be called a land use meeting, which it was. I mean, they want to do stuff in the street, and you got to remember, everything that's in the street takes parking away from the people in the community and other stores on that strip where the restaurants will be. So we approved the concept. The Land Use Committee approved the concept of what city planning and DOT would like to do, and passed unanimously. We didn't have no negative votes. So that's going to have to come to a vote before the board tonight, to accept, number one, the Land Use Committee report, and number two, to vote on what we approved for the changes in the style of street side and street restaurants. And that is the report. Can I have a motion that we?
Okay, so what's next, Mr. Stricker?
We need a motion to approve the Land Use Committee's report.
Okay.
And once we have that, then we can take a vote on the actual DOT and city planning issue.
Okay.
So
go ahead, John.
I rise to say that we accept the report coming from the Land Use Committee with any necessary changes.
I thank you, John. So we can take a vote on that now because we don't have to have a second for this.
Right.
So do we have somebody to call the roll?
Yes, call.
Okay.
Judith, is that you?
Yes, that's me. I call.
Oh. How you doing there, young lady?
Okay. All right. Here we go. Judith Benitez. Aye. Egeria Bennett.
Aye.
Sydney Blair. Sydney Blair.
Her mic isn't working. She said.
Right.
Would you accept her verbal or whatever her type message as a yeah or nay?
Yeah, Sydney Blair, you could put it in the chat. Yes or no? Okay, she said yes. Sydney Blair said yes. I think you're on mute.
You're muted, Miss Benitez.
Right.
Can't hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry. That's I hit by mistake. Let me just ask again. Is Denise Bond here? No? Okay, let's go on to Ivan Borges.
Aye.
Paula Basadi.
Aye.
Michelle Brumfield.
I'm here. I didn't know I was voting on the first meeting, so I'll vote yes on this one.
This is Miss Brumfield.
Yes.
Okay, Marlene Allen.
Aye.
Victor Brown. Victor, just shake your head one way or the other. I see you, but I'm not. Victor Brown. Just shake your head one way or the other, yes or no?
Ms. Benitez, can I jump in for a second? People, if you know that the vote is coming to you, let's just be ready to vote. We're right now taking all day because people are not ready, right? So if you know the vote is coming to you, let's get ready, vote, so that we can, I mean, we're having a good meeting, okay? Let's not hold this up, all right? I'm sorry, Mr. Benitez. I'm kind of sort of doing what you do, all right? So, Mr. Brown, we'll come back to you. Who's next, Mr. Benitez?
I have a feeling it's going to be I, but you know.
Okay, yeah, let's move on.
Okay, Jerome Brown. Deacon Edward Brown.
Aye.
Oh, I forgot, Ms. Benitez, one other thing too. I have to tell you about Jerome Brown. We have to scratch his name. I'll tell you about that later.
I heard about it, but
Right,
you know,
okay.
I haven't gotten the official word yet, but I heard about it. Norbert Bryan is excused. Sadie Campbell. Is Sadie here with us?
He's on the phone.
He's on the phone?
Yes.
Okay, is she saying aye or nay?
No.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Joan Claude.
Aye.
Thank you, Joan.
You're welcome.
Beatrice Coronel.
Aye.
Thank you. Tolene Dickerson.
Aye. And Denise Bond is on her way on.
I'll come back to her. Is she on it now or what?
Not quite yet.
Kason Dubois.
Aye.
Thank you. Kevin Eichelberger.
Aye.
Alfredo Figueroa.
Aye.
Hannah Gadpali.
Yes.
Barbara Gibson.
Aye.
Johnny Goff. Johnny Goff. Robert Hall.
Yes, with all due respect, I just wanted to include the fact that the Housing Committee was also with the Land Use Committee at that meeting. That being said, I vote aye. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa Hayes is excused. John Isaac.
Aye.
Theodore James.
Aye.
Keisha Lago Martin. Keisha Lago Martin. Ifer Lass. Colin Zano. Jaron Manzanet. Am I correctly pronouncing it? Jaron, are you there? He's one of our new board members. Jaron, are you on the phone? I have a feeling you're on the phone. Lucille Martin.
Aye.
Shanika Moore.
Aye.
Clinton Mike.
Aye.
Carmen Ortiz. I know she's here, so thanks, Carmen. Anthony Reed is excused. Dr. Dina Robbins.
Aye.
Luke Sabados. I saw you earlier.
Aye.
Thank you. Got you. Jessica Samboy. Jessica Samboy. Luisa Sanchez. Luisa Sanchez. Luisa Sanchez. Carrie Singh is excused. Carl Stricker. Esther Yeaman. Yema.
Aye.
Thank you. Michael Burke.
Aye.
Thank you. The ayes.
I forgot. Mr. Stricker said aye. He was muted by accident, Madam
I
Secretary.
got it. Victor Brown. He gives me a vote. He needs to shake his head if he
Right.
can't get to his button.
Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum? I mean, because there are lots of people that are absent, unexcused. I'm noticing that. So we
Good
now have
evening.
45
I'm sorry.
board members.
Hello.
Who's that?
So sorry. Good evening. This is Denise Bond. I'm sorry for my tardiness.
Mrs.
Were you
Bond.
voting? Were you in time to hear the vote for the housing and land use meeting comments?
I just signed on.
You just signed in? Okay, good enough. I'll leave it as it is.
It's I for Sadie Campbell.
Okay, thank you, Sadie. I got you already. Yeah, the ayes have it.
Do we have a quorum? Because we now have 45 board members, Ms. Benitez.
Yeah, we should have a quorum. We should have a quorum.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have a quorum.
Okay, great.
I'll reconfirm
Okay.
that when we go through.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Let you know.
All right, so motion passes. So this is a vote on the citywide planning text amendment for the sidewalk cafe. So Mrs. Bond just got on. So Mrs. Bond, I'm going to let you get yourself tidy, and I'm going to move to the Economic Development Committee's recommendations.
Mike, we have to take a vote on approving the city and DOT's standardization of the restaurant.
So what did we just do? I
You
thought that's what we
voted to
just did.
accept the committee report.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, Mr. Stricker. What I'm saying is that now that's taking too much time. The way the parliamentary procedure works is, and I know you know this because you're a parliamentarian, but if you make the motion to say we recommend that we do X, Y, and Z, once we take the vote, then that should be it. So in your motion, it should say, okay, so we move the committee move that we accept the citywide text vote. So I move that we accept the report and do this in the motion. And that's in Robert's Rules of Order. And that way we're not going back, taking another vote. That's what I'm saying. So that's part of, and that doesn't need a second. And that's what I'm saying as far as committee, because that takes too much time. And the way that, at least from what I learned, is that, you can do everything in one vote. So if we take and accept the report, then obviously you accept the recommendation in the report. That's how we learned. And that's also in our book.
Okay, Dr. Burke, I'll go with you.
Well, thank you. I mean, Mr. Strickland, because you know that you're my guy, but that's just what,
Yeah, no. It's fine, all right? But
Yeah.
usually there's always two votes, but if this is legal, I have no issue.
No, it's legal, and I'll show it to you, Mr. Strickland. I'm gonna come by and we can do some coffee, and I'll show it to you where I found it.
Okay, I like
Okay.
strong coffee.
Yes, sir. Okay, so let's go. So, Madam Secretary, so we're gonna let Ms. Bond get settled. So let's hear from your recommendations.
Okay, I have 3 recommendations tonight. Thank you, Dr. Burke. I have 3 recommendations tonight. One is for a new liquor license and 2 for renewal. The first one, it's not in order here on my list, but the first one is the new one, which is for Dream Bar. Dream Bar is located at 3855 Bronxwood Avenue. It's a small bar, new ownership, and I didn't see any problems with her as far as the 4-7 precinct is concerned. If there were any problems prior to her owning it, it's not her. It's not her. She's a complete owner. These other 2 for renewal is the Eastwood Manor, and I think I need to say anything about them. They're up to for renewal and a corporate change. Also, so what is there to say? We've always gotten good feedback from the public, so we haven't had any problems with them as of late. Also, the other place is Numero Uno Sabor Latino Restaurant. It's right opposite the community board office, and they're looking for a renewal. It's a small restaurant, and I'm sure you will pass it, or you catch it at the corner of your eye when you're passing by them. I didn't have any problems with them also, and we had a good report of a negative report from the 4-7 precinct. So I'm recommending those 3 for a new license and 2 renewals. And that's my report.
Okay, so thank you, Madam Chair. So you're gonna, I need a member of your committee to go ahead and move that. And again, it doesn't need a second. So Alfredo?
Good evening, everybody. I move that we proceed with the economic developments motion for the renewals of the 2 establishments, Eastwood Manor and Sabor Latino, and issuance of the new license for Dream Bar. The Dream Bar, when we were having the meeting, I mean, we get it with Yolanda. She's a new owner. The establishment itself, the property itself had prior issues. SLA uplifted the restrictions for the property. Every now and then I'll swing by, take a drive by to see what's going on over there, to make sure everything is good to go. But we cannot hold a new person accountable for other people's mistakes. So, but I will be watching. I will be driving by there, to make sure that they're doing the right thing.
So Mr. Figueroa has moved the motion that we accept the recommendation of the Economic Development Committee for the the new license, I think, of the Dream Bar and the renewal of Eastwood Manor and Sabor Latino, if I'm not mistaken. So that is the motion on the floor. So is there any other questions for the Economic Development Committee?
In reference to this, Dr. Burke, I think we need to have a for each establishment. We can't lump them together.
So you want a separate vote for each establishment?
Yeah. I know there's a few board members who may go for one and then they might not go for the other two. Or two, maybe not the other one. But that's up to you. If you want me to do it all three at one time, I don't have a problem taking a vote like that.
You know, Madam Chair, we'll go by your recommendation. If you want to do it separately, we'll do it separately. Okay, so
I'm sorry to do this to you. If it was anything else, I would do it together collectively, but I think in this particular instance, since we have a new establishment, I think they need to have their own vote on their own merit.
okay. Well, let's do the easy one first. I think the Eastwood Manor is going to be the easiest. So let me pose the question this way. So there are no other questions for any of the recommendations for the Economic Development Committee, correct? So let me pose the question. So I'll call for the question of the vote. So for the Eastwood Manor, so we're going to go on Madam Secretary's recommendation that we do each one separately. So for Eastwood Manor, let me ask a question. Being that everybody here has frequented Eastwood Manor, are there any objections to not approving the Eastwood Manor?
Victor Brown, do you have a problem with that? Shake your head yes or no.
I didn't hear all the discussion because my system gave me some trouble. I have to reconnect. But if it's a grant any form of liquor license or approve, I vote nay.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you. That is.
So we're doing the Eastwood Manor. All right. So outside of Mr. Brown's vote, is anyone else objecting to the Eastwood Manor?
No.
Okay. Motion for the Eastwood Manor passes. So now we've got the other two. Which one you want to do next, Ms. Benitez?
Let's do the Dream.
Dream Bar. Okay. So the Dream Bar that's a new one, right? That's on Bronxwood Boulevard.
Yes.
Okay. So you've heard the discussion from Ms. Benitez as well as from Mr. Figueroa. So now we're going to call for the vote for the motion for a new liquor license for the Dream Bar. So, Madam Secretary, the floor is yours.
Okay. Judith Benitez, I'll say aye. Egeria Bennett.
Abstain.
Sydney Blair. Sydney Blair.
Waiting for her to add it in the chat. We gotta wait for the chat because she has no mic. So move to the next one.
Here I am. I just called Denise Bond.
Aye.
Thank you. Ivan Boaz. Ivan Boaz.
Sorry, I got kicked off. Aye.
Paula Basadi.
Aye.
Michelle Bromfield.
Aye.
Marlene Allen.
Aye.
I know Victor Brown's no.
You're right.
Deacon Edward Brown.
Deacon just went to his car, but he voted aye.
Okay, thank you. Sadie Campbell. Joan Claude.
Aye.
Beatrice Coronel.
Aye.
Tolene Dickerson.
Aye.
Kason Dubois.
Aye.
Kevin Eichelberger.
Abstain.
Alfredo Figueroa.
Aye.
Hannah Gadpally.
Aye.
Barbara Grant. I'm sorry, Barbara Gibson. Johnny Goff. Robert Hall.
Aye.
John Isaac.
Aye.
Theodore James.
Aye.
Keisha Martin. Ifer Lass. Paula. Joran Manzet. Joran Manzanet. Lucille Martin.
Aye.
Shanika Moore.
Abstain.
Clinton Mike.
Nay.
I'm sorry.
Nay.
Carmen Ortiz.
Aye.
Dina Robbins.
Abstain.
Luke Sabados.
Aye.
Jessica Samboy. Luisa Sanchez. Paul Stricker.
Aye.
Esther Yamer.
Abstain.
Dr. Burke.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
Thank you.
Got it.
I'm going to have to count this down. I won't be able to give it to you right away. Let me go and do the last one, then I'll give you the final count.
Okay.
The last one is going to be Zabo Restaurant.
Well, Ms. Benitez, can I ask you this question? Is
Yes.
it possible for us to ask anybody if they want to change their vote for the last one? Because, for instance, my vote's going to stay the same, and Mr. Brown's vote's going to stay the same.
Dr. Robbins the same.
Okay, then hold on. Just hold on. Let me see if I can do that and see where we stand. Well, okay. So the only one. Okay, and who was the other one? Dr. Dina Robbins.
Right, Dr. Robbins, her vote
You
stays
said
the
you have
same.
abstention, right, Dr. Robbins?
Dr. Robbins, you still abstaining, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Esther, are you doing the same thing also?
Yes, that's correct. I don't know enough about it.
Okay, I see what you, all right. So I'll put you down for abstain for both of them.
So anybody else, is anybody going to change their vote? That's the question I'm asking now, because Mr. Benitez is doing the final count.
Yes. Clinton Mike. I'm going to vote yes.
You going to vote yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got okay. Thank you,
All right.
Clinton.
Thanks, my
And
brother.
I am too. Egeria Bennett to vote yes.
On the last, on Sabo?
Yes.
Okay. Keep on going with your agenda and I'll count it up.
Okay, so next up will be then Parks and Recreation Committee, where we have a Mrs. Bond is going to bring a recommendation from the Parks Committee. Mrs. Bond, are you ready? Okay. Mrs. Bond? Okay, so let's move on to the Transportation Committee. So, even though that's not on the agenda, John, we're gonna put you on the new business because that's not on the agenda, so we'll bring that up on the new business. Is that okay? Let's bring that up on the new business, and let's move on to the executive officer nominations, and then Madam Secretary will get us the numbers for the vote and let us know if the motion passes. So let's move on to old business, and then we'll get those numbers. So now we're talking about executive officer floor nominations and election rules. So the chair recognizes Mr. Clinton Mike.
Good evening, everyone. You hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, somebody got to answer.
We hear you, my brother. We hear you. How is this? We hear you, and the same beat down that we gave how are we gonna give the Norfolk State? So we figure that'll elicit a response from you. That's gonna elicit a response from you. How's that?
I hope everyone had a great summer. I did. I'm trying to get back into the swing of this here community board stuff because my mind is still in July and August, but I'm trying to get back, and bear with me. My committee, I'm going to meet with you guys very soon, real soon. I'm sorry I haven't done it already, but like I said, I'm still trying to get out of the summer. It's almost October, so I'm almost there. But so what we're going to do right now, we're going to accept nominations from the floor for our election. Right, I just want to remind you of some things. The nominating committee consists of myself, Theodore James, Marlene Brown Allen, Denise Bond, and Sydney Blair. That is the nominating committee for 2021. Okay, so yeah, so right now, nominations are now in order from the floor. And should I do each one individually?
Yeah, so you need to open the floor up for each position individually, right?
Okay.
And then close it, right?
Okay, so
you gotta let the people know who the nominees are too. So you gotta let people know who the nominees are, and then ask if there's anybody that wants to throw their name in the ring.
The current nominees, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
currently for the office of chair, we have Dr. L. Michael Burke, the incumbent, and Ivan Boris. For first vice chair, the incumbent is Egeria Bennett, and Ivan Boris is running also for first vice chair. Second vice chair is Ivan Boris for second vice chair, and the incumbent John Isaac. Corresponding secretary is Judith Benitez, and she's running unopposed right now. Recording secretary is a new position at Community Board 12. Right now, Carla Borsatti is running unopposed. And treasurer, Tolene Dickerson. And right now, she also is running unopposed. So just to repeat, the candidates for chair are Dr. Michael Burke and Ivan Boris. The candidates for first vice chair are Egeria Bennett and Ivan Boris. Second vice chair is John Isaac and Ivan Boris. Corresponding secretary, Judith Benitez. Recording secretary, Carla Borsatti. Treasurer, Tolene Dickerson. I have a note also. Everyone that's running or currently, and people who are going to be nominated from the floor, you have to turn in your bio to the board. You can turn it in to George or Ursula, but we need to have bios in everyone.
I sent it in.
Okay, no. I'm just saying for those that didn't. I know who I have already, but some haven't sent them. Okay, so I guess nominations are now in order for the office of chairperson. The floor is open.
Good evening, Mr. Clinton Mike. I just wanted to clarify, I did not accept for clarity's sake of clarity, I did not accept a nomination for second vice chair.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Just note that. Second vice chair, right? Ivan Boris, second vice chair, you said.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So, no nominations from the floor for chair. Okay. So now we're going to accept nominations are now in order for the office of first vice chair. First vice chair.
Mr. Mike.
Yes.
I thought we did this already. I thought we.
No.
I'm confused. I thought we already did this already. So what is it exactly? What is it exactly we're doing? So like,
so hang on for a second. Can Mr. Mike, can I have the floor to explain? So, so Alfredo, yeah. So at the June meeting, we said that we were going to open it up in September because that was what the nominating committee stated. So yes, we did do this already, but we said that we were going to do it one more time because by that time we had new members, and of course they would need to know who's running and so forth and so on. So that's the only reason we're doing this. Okay, so this should go hopefully like that. So just a point of clarification, okay?
So I vote Dr. Burke for chair.
He's already nominated.
Yeah, I'm already nominated. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't understand what we're doing.
No, what I'm saying is that was it's so to make it easier. So my friend, we're doing this because the elections are next month. So that's that's what. So this is something that was said. We're being consistent with what we said at the June meeting. So that's why we're doing it again.
Okay.
I mean, hopefully, this will go by quickly. Hopefully.
All right, my bad.
That's okay.
How many new members do we have on the board right now?
I'm going to explain all of that, Mr. James. So let me get the floor back to Mr. Mike. Okay, all of that's going to come at the end. So, Mr. Mike, you have the floor again.
Clinton,
Yes.
Clinton, can I say something, please?
I'm listening.
Yeah. All right. The people that are running unopposed, all they have to do is cast one vote for them, and they're in. The two challenged persons, the chair and the first vice chair, will have to take a vote on it and give it back in next month. So we're going to have to do it like we did the last time, through email. Because, some people don't have access to a Zoom machine. So what we did last time, we gave, if you got two people running, say Ivan and Dr. Burke, and Ivan and Ms. Bonds, I'm sorry. If I got your name wrong, I'm sorry. It's a long day for me. And those are the only two that we have to worry about voting on, those two positions. So they should be posted on an email to everybody, and you choose one or the other, which will be announced next month. The rest of the slate is in because there's no opposition to them.
So confused now.
Point of question. Shouldn't there be some type of vetting or some type of introduction that should have been done before voting?
What you did, you provided a sheet of your history, right? You gave that to Clinton?
Yes, we have new board members and they're not aware. So this is where things get convoluted.
No, all you're going to do is wind up extending this election till next year.
No, wait.
We have a process.
Let
Excuse
me
me?
just say that, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the bios will go back out before the election.
That's right. That's exactly right. So whoever is a board, thank you, Ursula. Whoever is a board member will get a copy of the bio report. So Dr. Burke and you, Ivan, for both the positions, and the first vice chair for her position will have bios sent to everybody so they can vote who they think is the best person. Because if we don't do it this way, we're going to have another month. We're going to have to wait, and then another month.
I mean,
You know,
it's becoming at this point it's becoming to convenience, and then I become the passive aggressive one because I'm pointing out the mere fact that we're not allowed to introduce ourselves as candidates. With that being
you'll be
said,
introduced on your bio.
we have
And
new
if you
board members.
I don't care if you have the Pope there. If you provide a bio, it says everything that you need, you want to tell the people. That's all. I'm Ivis Boris, and I was chair of the Parks Committee. I did this for the community. I did that for the community. I've been on the board X amount of years. I'm a very dedicated member. You know, that should all be in your bio. They don't need to.
I appreciate
you
that,
know?
Carl. So, for sake and for sake and the betterment of our board, I will rescind both of my nominations. I appreciate everybody's consideration. Thank you.
You have that, Clinton?
Yes.
Question.
Then we have
Barbara
nobody.
Gibson. Question, Barbara Gibson. Everybody else have something to say, but you want somebody else to read what that person is about. And I think that's what he's saying. He wants to be heard verbally, wherein everyone else is speaking.
I didn't see anybody else speak. I got a bio on everybody. Nobody came up and said to me I should be running. I go by what their bio says. If I can't trust a person with their bio, you know what? What's the use of believing in people, period?
Well, I think the point is, if others would hear his voice, then they would know who he is. But he has declined, but it was just a thought.
Oh, it was a good thought, Barbara. Thank you. So, Clinton, so now you have no opposition anywhere.
No, unless someone wants to nominate. No.
Somebody from the floor. Then everybody's unopposed and we can vote tonight.
Can we really vote tonight?
No.
Yeah.
No, we can't. I don't think we can because
No.
the
And
bios.
why not?
The bios haven't gone out. We have 8 new board members.
Well, you have people. What are they going to vote for? A ghost? Is people running for each office singular? So who are they running opposed to? We can send the bios out.
We also have a write-in option.
Yeah, okay. You know, you guys do what you like, but you know, you're just extending this.
Been making an argument about it. I'm just saying,
this.
It was going to be next month anyway. It was going to be next month anyway.
Yeah, so that's fine. But you know, you have no opposition right now. So you want everybody to send their bio out again? That's fine. But there's nobody running against these people unless somebody writes it in next month because we had the nominations for the floor this month.
All right, but we can't do the vote right now because we're not prepared. We don't have, you know.
No, Ursula, I understand. It'll be done next month. And everybody's bio should go out on the board.
I will send it out. The beginning of the month, I will send it out.
I would like.
Okay,
I mean,
thank you.
Thank you, Ursula. Hopefully, I'm not digressing the board's time, as some have expressed. So I'll keep this as short as possible. The reason why I'm rescinding my nomination is for the simple fact that when we vote for any type of constituent, we don't look at a bio. We hear that person. We meet that person. We see what that person is about. We don't go by a bio and make a vote. That's just the reality of things. If that's what the board is comfortable with, as far as doing so and having things prolonged to convenience or because of situations for that matter, either or, right? Then that's what it is, and that's what this board will be about.
Like Clinton, you got the floor again.
No, let me say something again. If I'm not mistaken, didn't we give everybody the opportunity last year to say a couple of words before we voted?
Absolutely not.
I'm sorry. I thought we did.
No, don't be sorry. Okay, Clinton, take control of your committee.
Okay. So I have one question still. Do I continue to take nominations from the floor?
Well, we're done with nominations from the floor. You can have a write-in vote. Nominations from the floor is all over with. You can get a write-in, somebody can write in a vote. In other words, if somebody doesn't like Dr. Bright, they can write in Joe Schmo, and he'll be a write-in vote.
On the
It's just
ballot,
like
on the ballot next month, they can write that.
yes,
Okay. Okay. So
because it's just like a general election. You have a whole list of candidates, and then they have write-in. So that's why you get Elmer Fudd, Bugs Bunny, and so forth.
Okay.
But, you know, that's the rule of the land.
Okay. There being no nominations, nominations are now closed. Thank you.
Thank you, Clinton.
So thank you very, very much, Mr. Stricker, for assisting, and thank you, my brother, Mr. Mike, for everything that you've dealt with. I really, truly appreciate it. Mrs. Bond, your recommendation,
Yes,
please.
I do apologize. I was having technical issues before. I could hear everyone, but you couldn't hear me.
Before you go on, Denise, Dr. Burke, I just want to give you the results.
Yes, ma'am. So let's hear the results.
All three areas.
Can you repeat that, Ms. Benitez? I didn't hear you.
The ayes have it in all three establishments.
Okay, so for the Dream Bar, for Sabor Latino, so the ayes have it. Thank you, Ms. Benitez.
You're welcome.
Okay. Mrs. Bond.
Yes. So, out of our meeting on September 14th, and you have to forgive me, I'm a little bit sick. On September 14th, there was a presentation from the New York Parks presentation on the Woodlawn Playground. And that project, as you know, is a $5.7 million project. And it was phase one was they're installing the sprinklers, which they believe they should have done already. Or they're still working on that. And then phase two is the comfort station. And then phase three is the rest of the renovation. And they were asking for the community's input and a letter of support. So what came out of that meeting was that we wanted to see that the playground itself, that they move it from a 4-foot fence to a 6-foot fence, and that we ensured that some of the jobs that would come out of this project would be for people who lived in our community board area. So those were the stipulations, and that's how the Parks and Recreation Committee decided that the letter of support should be written. So I just need at this point, I just need a motion to accept the information as given in support of the Woodlawn Playground.
So moved.
Okay, so the motion has been moved and it does not need a second. So, Madam Secretary, I mean, this is a very nice project for those who've seen it. So let me ask this question instead of going on a long vote. Is there anybody that's not in favor of sending a letter of support for the Woodlawn Playground? So the motion then becomes a motion of unanimous consent. All right, is there anybody in objection to the letter of support for the Woodlawn Playground? Not hearing none. So ordered, motion passes. Okay, so let's move on to new business and let's go ahead and get out of here. So under new business, I'm going to actually bring up the Transportation Committee and Mr. John Isaac. And I'm just going to make a comment before I bring up Mr. Isaac. Board members, and so because we're going to do the new member introductions in a little bit, but board members, we have to watch our conflicts of interest. And so I just found out that there was a conflict of interest. All right. And so if there's a conflict of interest, then of course I asked you to recuse yourself from the vote. Okay. Because if something goes wrong, then we're held liable. Okay. So that's what happened at the last Transportation Committee meeting. So Mr. Isaac, you have the floor, good sir.
Thanks, Dr. Bork. Good evening, family. On September 9th, the Transportation Committee met with New Laconia Car Service. And New Laconia Car Service has been in business in this community for over 20 years. They provide a car-based service to the residents of Community Board 12. They came to us in support of their new licensure. So we didn't have a quorum, and we were unable to vote on this new licensure. We could not wait until the next committee meeting because there was a deadline for them to get a letter of support. So I'm coming to the community board tonight to request that we send a letter of support for New Laconia Car Service.
I so move that we support the Laconia Car Service, New Laconia Car Service, as opposed to the old one.
I'm sorry. I need a moment of levity. So, okay, I'm sorry. That's funny. Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just need to laugh right now. So on that note, I'm just going to, so the motion has been moved. Are there any objections to the letter of support for the New Laconia Car Service? Without objection, so ordered. So the motion passes for the New Laconia Car Service. And so I appreciate each and every one of you on that.
Thank you, guys.
We're almost done. Not a problem. Thank you for your hard work. John, we appreciate you. Next has been one of the most fun things that we have done as a community board. And even though it's not finished, I'm kind of excited about some of the results. And so I want to bring on the person who's rocking the stylish glasses right now, our not-for-profit committee chair, Ms. Beatrice Cornell. Ms. Cornell, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And I actually want to take the time to say it's great seeing all of my community board members, and to all of the new ones, we are super excited. We've been waiting for more board members to join us. Your energy is going to be invaluable to the work that we want to get done. And so as the chair of the ad hoc non-for-profit committee, I would love to welcome you to join our meetings, which happen every third Wednesday of the month at 6 o'clock. More information will come, but we really need to rally and figure out ways to unite and come together to help our community. Would I be able to share my screen, Dr.
Yes, you can share your screen.
Okay. Give me one sec. Apologies. I'm trying to pull up the form. Here it is. Okay, share. Okay, so for all the new board members, we decided that we wanted to start a non-for-profit organization for this community board to supplement some of the initiatives that are in this district. There aren't that many initiatives really that are supporting our community. The findings, and we have 251 so far, implicates that we do need to bring more resources into this community. And so this is a small sample, but is very representative as to what we're seeing in this community. So our aim is really to have you all support in circulating this survey. I can pass it on to everyone so that you have it. The more responses that we get when the time comes for us to go for grants, the more we will be able to show why we have needs in this community and get funds to implement the initiatives that will support the needs. So this is a summary. This is the age range. We broke it up into age ranges so that we can see where each age group is at and, you know, what's represented in our community, so that you'll see here that 41.4% of our members that filled out the surveys were between the ages of 45 and 64, 65 and older, 28.7%. And that's pretty high. What we found from our elders in the community, the wise ones, is that for some of them, it's hard for them to connect via technology. And so Dr. Burke and Egeria and all of the other board members that helped throughout the summer, what we were going around doing at events is that we were going around and helping them fill out the form. So we'll need more support with that as well. Their voice is important, just as everyone else. Our 18 to 24 year olds, we did get some, which is great. 25 to 44, we had 25.9%. So the biggest group that filled this out was ages 45 to 64. These are all the different neighborhoods that you are representing. This is for the new community board members to see. They're listed here. These are all the communities that you are representing. And so what we see here is that we got the highest surveys completed from Williamsbridge and the Wakefield locations, and then Baychester. So there's other areas here that we need to hear their voices. And again, these summaries can be shared with all of you. When we asked our community members what are, and not the board members, right? These are the actual residents, your neighbors. We went around asking what did they feel were their greatest needs within the community. And so I want to start with the highest. So beautification and sanitization of this district was a huge issue, right? So our members, our residents, and our neighbors are feeling like we need to do something to beautify, clean up, and sanitize our neighborhoods. We did hear some members earlier talking about the need for that, right? So that came in at number 1. At number 2 came in a safer community with more community policing. And so this is something that we do have to keep in mind. Many of us have been talking about this amongst ourselves and with our neighbors, that there is a rise in incidents that are happening, right? Between shootouts, car theft, all kinds of things. So the community is saying that we do need a safer community. And so this is something that we need to keep in mind when we talk about community policing. Throughout the elections, we heard a lot about defund the police. And so what we're seeing here is that our neighborhood is saying that we do need actually more safety measures to be taken into account. So we need to take that into account. Then third came in education and academic enrichment, right? So our community is saying that this is something that they feel we have a greater need for. How do we expand? How do we work on enhancing that sector? Health services and health disparities, right? So everybody's recognizing that even during COVID, we did see a lot of health disparities. Our district was one of the hardest hit with the pandemic. So these are things that we need to keep in mind. I wanted to talk about affordable housing. That is also something that a lot of our neighbors were saying that they want to see more of. The thing here to think of is that when we're thinking of affordable housing, many think we're thinking of we want new developments with rental properties, but I'll show something a little bit further down. What we're really seeing is that our members want more home ownership opportunities. So they're classifying affordable housing as opportunities to be able to purchase homes and build equity. Senior centers and senior programs is something that we see that there's also a need for. Infrastructure. Many of us were talking about the flooding that we had during the hurricane. Infrastructure, and somebody spoke about that earlier. And so the other ones came in low, but we'll talk about that because the more responses that we get, we're going to see higher rates for some of these as well. Another question we asked are, what are the top 3 priorities for yourselves and for members? Safety, cleanliness. You see that for all of these, safety was a priority. Then we wanted to ask, what are some of the topics noted below that they would be interested in learning more about? For the new members last year, we were talking a lot about starting an education center as part of the non-for-profit organization. And we wanted to hear what are some of the things that they want to enhance their understanding of, right? What did they want to learn more of? And so at the highest that we had, again, was financial literacy, home ownership, wills, trusts, life insurance, and investing. So we see that our community members want to learn more about building equity. So this is something that we really need to push as we develop our community, as we bring initiatives to this community. Community legal services. So for example, I gave an example of oversaturated development of homeless shelters, and somebody spoke about that earlier too. So our members are feeling like we are overly saturated with homeless shelters in this community. And so they would like to bring in some legal services and learn more about what our rights are as a community. Vocation training and licensing, right? So we spoke a lot about if we started an education center, how can we help our members gain licenses for some of these different like vocational trainings and licensing. So that's something that we would like to enhance in this community as well. There's health disparity, mental health awareness. So more mental health awareness is needed in this neighborhood. So for example, how do we identify what are some risk factors? How do we identify depression? So mental health services are something that scored high to that, the community saying that we need more services and to learn more awareness campaigns. Holistic health and nutrition was high as well. Youth empowerment and leadership was high. Entrepreneurship, how do we start small businesses? Environmental justice, right? So environmental justice has to do a lot with what are some of the things that we're being exposed to, toxicity, different things that are affecting our health. This one is really important for us to note as well. This question is, are you aware of the resources located within your community? For example, but not limited to mental health services, medical care, social services. So 61.4% said no, they were not aware of the resources that are located within the community. 38.6% said yes. The next question, do you have to travel outside of your neighborhood to access resources? If so, where? So 68.8% said that they have to travel outside of the neighborhood to gain access to resources. I mean, I think that's unacceptable. So that's something that we as a community board need to work on. How do we bring in more resources within our community, within this district? How satisfied are you with the quality of life in this district? 46%, so almost 50% said that they're not satisfied. The other 50% said that they're somewhat satisfied. Barely anyone said that they were fully satisfied. So how do we enhance the quality of life for ourselves and for the members of this community? Those are things we need to think of as a board. What do you think would enhance your quality of life? So people gave different responses here, but again, you see safety coming in, senior centers, access to more things that are beneficial to the family. So again, enhancing the quality of life. What support do you and other residents of the community need? So we had senior centers, mental health, again, safety. And then the last question, how has the COVID pandemic affected you and others in your community? So 30.7% said emotional and mental distress, right? So we know that the pandemic affected us and it caused all kinds of stressors for us. So we're seeing that that came in high. Financial strain was second. Strain of monitoring children and their remote learning, job loss, illnesses, and then the other ones came in under. So that is a summary. And as you can see, you know, it's really interesting. And for us, again, as a community board, I hope this inspires you, especially our new board members, to really come together, join our committees. That's the best way you can help us expand what we're doing. I'm really looking forward to working with you all and really hoping that you will all be able to help circulate this super important survey. Any questions? Yes, Mr. Hall.
Yes, Barbara Gibson.
Well,
Okay,
Barbara
Mr. Hall
Gibson.
first, Mr. Hall and then Barbara Gibson.
Okay. I did not hear of your on your survey. Did you mention folks who are employed versus unemployed? Did you use that correlation?
For unemployed versus unemployed, no.
Okay, no, I was just wondering, and it did appear that we have so many shelters, but I guess some of the folks who are affiliated with those shelters, they were not able to give their disposition with regards to the community because they're in shelters, or where did that go?
Can you repeat the question? I'm not sure I understand what your question is.
You have an overflow of shelters.
Yes.
All right. Did you have a population of folks from the shelter to do that survey to any extent?
Not at the moment, Mr. Hall. We only have 251 surveys that were completed. This is where I need you all to come in and help, because we should hear from those that are living in shelters as to what their needs are as well.
Let me just say something though. Because we were out in the street, we were in the public. It's hard to determine who was from a shelter and who wasn't. You know, we didn't ask the question on the survey, but the truth is you couldn't really tell when we were at the events, like with food being given out. You know, we were at the major events, 3 major events that we went to. And in that environment, you know, we just went to all the people who were there. So, you know, and it was hard to determine who was from a shelter or not. You know, and like that, if you say like 1 or 2 people may have answered it, may have come from a shelter, that's possible. That's possible. But we, like you said, we didn't say go around to the shelters to distribute the survey there. You know, like stand in front of the shelters and hand out the survey. You know, so if that's what you're saying, that would be another thing, because, you know, the thing about there being anonymous is important too, you know, to be able to answer.
I get it. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
But we would like to hear from them as well, right? Because unfortunately, there already are some shelters here, then we have to learn how to help them so that they get more acclimated into this environment, and find the resources that they need as well. So, Mr. Hall, if you're willing to help with that so that we could target some shelters, that would be super helpful.
No, I fully understand. I have really been burdened with this situation of all the developments being privatized by non-for-profits who are now into our area, making money off of our residents who came from nowhere. But I was very fortunate because our Chuck Schumer did find some money for low-income housing, and that's something that will be coming up towards the end of the month, and you'll hear more about. However, these variables affect these types of what you're doing. So when I have more time, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem.
We appreciate
Dr.
that.
Deb already knows. We'll debate this to the cows come home. But it's in the best interest of the community, so be it. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Ms. Gibson?
Yes, my complaint is I didn't hear anything about transportation. And it was stated earlier in our meeting that the transportation was really a problem. We are in need of a new bus line from the Valley to Broadway. That would stop all these people have to go all the way down to Fordham to get over to Broadway that works in the hospitals and other places. So transportation needs to be on your survey. And for you to say that you only covered 251, I think that's fantastic. Hopefully you go further and we can get more information about our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gibson. That is a question that it is important. And this was passed out for everybody to review earlier. I was asking for everyone's input months ago because that would have been helpful. Now that it's circulated, it can be skewed. So to add that, when the other 251 didn't get to answer that, it would skew it a little, but that is something that we should consider moving forward. Thank you, Ms. Gibson. Somebody had a question in the chat. Dina Robbins, would you like to ask your question?
I just wanted to know how we are going to follow up on the results.
So once we gather all of these surveys, again, we'll continue the analysis, but the aim is that we get this non-for-profit incorporated, and then we go out for grants to develop the programming and initiatives that fulfill the needs based on this survey.
You have a hand up, Luke?
Hi there, everybody. I'm Luke. I'm new to this board, so it's so nice to have these great meetings that are just so dynamic and, wide-ranging in all the topics that we cover. So I'm really excited to serve. I currently work in Midtown Manhattan and do constituent services there, and a lot of the stuff that I have been doing, since during the pandemic was kind of a little bit of working with homeless shelters and the temporary homeless shelters that they put in Midtown. And since, there's a lot of people that, had objections, and the mayor moved everybody pretty rapidly out of, you probably saw it in the news, they moved a lot of homeless people from these temporary shelters in hotels, and they just kind of moved them to the outer boroughs. So I'm curious, this might be a better question for, offline, but I'm curious how, how that has affected our community. Is it, are we dealing with, people like moving in, trying to get, their bearings from this kind of rapid move? And so I'm curious about that. And then obviously any ways we can help, in the community. But yeah.
I could kind of take that. It's hard to say. And this survey was put together to address all the general people in the community, so we weren't trying to isolate to say who is involved in the shelter or who's trying to reacclimate themselves. Now, we picked certain areas, like we attended the mass kind of events that the elected officials had, so we know that attracts certain people, because everybody's coming for food, everybody's coming to say hello. So we did make a point at making sure that we were at the various, because, it's the one-stop shop, like you could collect all kinds of people. And we went to them, we went to the one that was at Evander Childs High School. The idea was just to get, in general, whoever it is that is circling the community, like even some of the street vendors who circle the community. We address the people who work with Bragg, the community against, like we just made sure that we got to a little bit of everybody to find out. We want to know, what is the community saying? Now, we would have to go into, and I think that is another idea, but again, we could just use assistance. Like if we went into, say we had a day of doing this solicitation at the Gun Hill neighborhood projects, that would be an ideal situation. If we had a day where we did the Edenwald projects, just to get that input from all of the people, and it's random, you walk by, you just say, hey, do you want to fill out the survey? It was particularly that it was random, but to address that, like Beatrice said, and she had really asked in the summer, can we get board to help with the surveys? So I think that now that you can see, even if it's 251 people, and these people are random across the board, they're in 10466 because we were in 10466, they're in 10467 because we also, not just 10467, but they're on the other side of say Bronxwood, because we went down into Hafen Park also. So that's another cluster of community people. And that's why I said I'm not sure which of those people that were there that we approached, were either homeless, had been homeless, or at the brink of becoming homeless. And that's a good thing, for the sake of the survey. But we can do more to get more specific answers. The whole idea for this project was that we just felt that as long as the board has a not-for-profit organization or has a not-for-profit component, we already spoke to lawyers. We have the relationship with the lawyers to have done this. We passed this over with the lawyers. If we have this not-for-profit entity within the board, then the board will have money, to address some of the problems, some of the issues that we are talking about. Because the board itself, really doesn't have a lot of money. And, the city is always cutting it, like he just went through a thing where the city was cutting his money. So, I mean, the thing is, why do we have to suffer that if I know that there are constant grants, especially now during COVID, there are constantly grants that are always saying, all you have to do is have a 501c3 and say that you are, creating extra food for people who may need food. Like that's ideal. So we could write it, get $10,000, to have just specifically just to do that. So it's
A
in that
question.
frame that we are thinking, like, and we did like the survey, let's solicit from the neighborhood what they need. And we also know that there is a need for an educational center in the community. So, I mean, that was the beginning a year ago, I guess.
Barbara Gibson, a question. The 5013C, what stage are we at now to get it?
We're at the survey stage. We're at the place where we are soliciting the information to say, is it worth it to do a 501c3? So far, we're feeling yes, just based on the responses from the people. Because a lot of the answers that we are getting from the survey are specifically the things that we said would be needed. We have a lot of men in this neighborhood who are mass construction. They just know construction, but can they work on a house that is under a FHA, mortgage? No, you can't, because they have to be licensed. So why don't we create the, entity or the space where they can get licensing? So it's that kind of thinking, so that we could bring it to the neighborhood instead of people having to go out the neighborhood to seek those opportunities. But right now, where we're at is collecting this information in the survey, because then we can make, a more of a point to why a 501c3 would work.
Thank you, Egeria. And we're working with an organization called New York Lawyers for Public Interest. They're ready to connect us to a firm that will help incorporate us, attorneys. We really just need more surveys completed to show why we want to start this nonprofit. So the more surveys completed that we get, the quicker we'll be able to move that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So let me just say that you guys did yeoman's work this summer, and I was proud to be a part of your team. I was proud that you let me grace you with my presence and, just to be in your company. Alfredo, my brother, for the work that you did helping us out, in particular with the National Night Out, as well as with the Precinct Council. Really, you had it down, brother, and I appreciate you. And for all of the work that everybody did in the survey. So you heard what Ms. Coronel said. So we need everybody out there to get these surveys out to the people. So on that note, I'm going to wrap things up. I'm going to table the code of conduct policy that we're developing until the next meeting, because it's 10 o'clock and we've got some new board member introductions to do. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this somewhat quickly, because what's going to happen, you've heard Alexis from the Borough President's Office says that there's going to be a new member orientation on the 18th. As you know, we at Community Board 12, we always do our new orientation. This will be the third iteration. You know, we first did it with Denise Bond and Kevin Eichelberger, and even though he was a year ahead of them, but he never really had that welcoming in. And of course, we did it last year, of course, with Miss Cornell and Harry Singh and Sydney and Keisha and that entire group. And so, you know, and if I'm leaving you off, it's not charged to my head, not my heart. So to that end, you know, we have new board members because I hate to report, but we've lost some very good board members, and it really pains me. But Hussein Abdul and Jerome Brown, which are two of our more recent board members who really did a lot of work. Unfortunately, they called and they had to resign for various reasons. And I was hurt, to be totally honest with you, because those guys really, really worked hard. But to that end, we have at the moment 9, hopefully 10 when it's all said and done, but definitely 9 new board members. So I'm going to get the first one first because she's the youngest. Hey, and I'm so happy. And let me just say, you know, what I try to do is, you know, I guys try to call every single board member. I just realized my video's not on. I try to call every single board member and welcome them. And I haven't had a chance to get to everybody yet, but I'm going to introduce the first one first because, as I said, I think that she's a sweetheart, and I had a good time talking to her mother as well. So I'm going to introduce to you Miss Hannah Gatpill. So Hannah, how are you doing? Welcome to Community Board 12. So if you can just give me a brief 1-minute introduction to who you are, and I'm going to do that, and we're just going to go down the line, okay? So Hannah, you're first.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Hannah. I'm 16 and I'm a senior in high school. And I'm really excited to be on the board and have my first meeting today.
Well, Hannah, we're glad to have you. And you know, the one thing is, I think one of the reasons that you're here is because you bring such a dynamic energy to the board. And I already have an idea of which committee. I told you that last night when we spoke that we're going to put you on, and some other things too. That you know, I will say that you have mentors in each and every one of us. And so, to that end, welcome. I hope that you know you take the conversation that you and I talked about. You know, and like I said, we'll be, you know, talking throughout, but whatever you do, we want to make certain that you are the best you going forward. And to your point, more people such as yourself to get active in the community, and I'm proud of you. So thank you very, very much. All right. And welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Not a problem. So the next person that I spoke with, and I'm not going in any order here, I'm just going in the order of people I spoke to first, and I'm going to talk to the ones I haven't had a chance to speak to yet. So Luke. So Mr. Luke Zabetos, I spoke to you. Luke, so welcome to Community Board 12.
Hi, thank you so much, Dr. Burke. My name is Luke Zabetos. I am the product of a project that Community Board 12 had approved an affordable home ownership opportunity here in District 12. It's literally changed my life with Habitat for Humanity. So I thank you so much for approving that project. And excited to serve on the board for, you know, whatever comes up.
Well, Luke, trust me, I told you, you know, we'll talk a little bit later, but like I said, I told you, you know, be careful what you wish for because we will put you to work. You see, Beatrice is already, you know, she's got her. You see, Jerry is smiling already, so she's already thinking about ways to use you. And I see Mr. Hall raising his hand too, so he's like, hey, so like I said, be careful what you wish for, all right? So.
All right.
So let's move on to the next person I got a chance to speak to, Mr. Kashan DeBose. Welcome to Community Board 12.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Burke. I husband, dad of 2, and just really looking forward to, you know, putting in the work for the community that I live in and making it better, you know, for like my kids and everyone's kids and pretty much for everyone.
Well, not a problem. And again, we look forward to you doing just that. Okay. The next person, I guess I didn't really, we spoke, but you know, we were playing, I won't say phone tag per se, but I missed her. Actually, you know, before I get to her, I'm going to get to someone who wears a crimson and cream, Mrs. Brown, Mrs. Esther Yema Brown. So welcome to Community Board 12.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Esther. I am an educator at MS 180 in Co-op City. I'm a homeowner in this area as well. And my daughter actually attends PS 153. And so I have some roots in the community. I am also, as Dr. Burke said, a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Bronx Alumni Chapter. And so I'm excited to be here and to be able to serve this community in any way possible. I'm a big techie, so any support there, I would love to provide assistance.
Okay, now you said tech, is that well, we need to talk about are you a science fiction fan? I forgot to ask you that.
Not really. I'm more of novels and
Okay.
poetry.
Okay, not a problem. All right, well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
So Mrs. We kind of played tag and we weren't able to really connect, but we did speak. So Mrs. Michelle Bromfield Armstrong, welcome to Community Board 12.
Hi, Michelle Bromfield Armstrong. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to working with the Community Board 12. I am a mother of 2 adult children. I work in nursing home industry, and I'm a member of Crawford Memorial United Methodist Church.
Okay, well, welcome. Like I said, and I apologize that we weren't able to connect, but hopefully, like I said, I'll be contacting you and everybody else in the coming days, okay?
Great, thank you.
Hey, not a problem. So some people that I did not get a chance to speak to was Mr. Duran Manzette. Now I know he was on, but I don't know if he's still on. Mr. Manzette, are you on? Okay. What about Miss Luisa Sanchez? Okay. Ms. Jessica Samboy? All right. And Miss Deborah Torado? All right, so those are the other new members that, like I said, I didn't get a chance to speak to, and so hopefully I will be speaking to them because clearly they should be here and they're not. So that is not a good thing. So before we wrap things up, I just want to say we have some birthdays that one is upcoming and one passed. So Dr. Goff, even though she's not here, her birthday was on the 18th last month. And we have a birthday girl that's coming up, that's coming, and I want to say this person is without her, we're not who we are, and of course that's Miss Ursula Green. So her birthday is coming up in the coming days. I want Ursula, if I'm wrong, please gonna kill me, but I want to say it's on the 27th. Yes.
28.
Okay, all right, I
Thank
was
you.
vague. All right, I knew it was coming up. So Ursula's birthday is next week. So as I said even before, without her, there is no us. So, her birthday is next week. So let's make certain that everybody sends her a very happy birthday. And I see Clinton says Libra's rock. So, is she a Libra?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, look, I didn't know. Okay. So, there you go. So that's a good and welfare. So again, thank you. So before we go, and
Miss
talking to
Barbara Gibson like to ask a question, please.
well, hang on, Ms.
Regarding,
Gibson, Ms. Gibson,
yes,
Ms. Gibson. I understand. So hang on.
regarding the board members, the new members, the item that you were just speaking about, sir.
What's that?
I like to know in the future, I like to know how many members attend each evening when we join together. And you take these votes, but we don't know how many members actually be on site. So that's all I'm referring to as of tonight, how many members and new members were on site. Thank you, sir.
Well, not a problem, Ms. Gibson. I mean, and again, we could talk to you. You can get Ms. Benitez. She has that information because I don't have it on me. That's why we have our secretary. So if you contact her, she can get that information to you. Okay.
No, I don't need it. I want it said each evening how many members are attending. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Gibson. So as we get ready to leave, this is for the new members. I had something that I was gonna read, and I want to give you something that I want you to think about. And this is something, as many of you know, that I'm a member of Omega, but this is something that I was given when I first joined the fraternity. But I'm going to switch this to say for new members, because the question that this is asked is, what type of Omega are you? And as I spoke to some of you, I asked you what type of board member are you going to be. So I'm going to read this poem to you. It says, what type of board member you're going to be. So I'm going to switch out my fraternal references for board member. So here it goes. Are you an active member, the kind that would be missed, or are you just content that your name is on the list? Do you attend the meetings and mingle with the brothers, or do you stay, or sisters too, or do you stay at home and criticize with the others? Do you take an active part to help the work along, or are you satisfied to be the kind that just belongs? Do you ever voluntarily help at the guiding stick, or leave the work to just a few and talk about the clique? Come out to meetings often and help with hand and heart. Don't just be a member, but take an active part. Think this over, new member. You know right from wrong. Are you going to be an active member, or do you just belong? So I'm going to leave you with that, and I'm going to ask for a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Second.
Motion's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further unreadness before we call for the vote? All right. All those ready to adjourn the meeting signify by saying aye.
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 All right.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Meeting adjourned. So,
Buenas noches.
wait. Alfredo, you got your hand up, yes.
Just a question. I mean, because I was going back and forth checking my drains. There was something on the agenda regarding George and Ursula. Like, was that?
Yeah, we talked about that. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later because I have to do some homework. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. So that's not gonna be ignored. We just have to talk about it, okay? So,
all right, guys. Have a good night.
not a problem. Not a problem. Mr. Ted James, I'm going to call on you, my brother, because you are such a powerful person, and I'd like to actually I should call him Miss Clyde, because I know that I'm looking. Yeah, I know Miss Clyde. Yeah, I saw you, and I'm like, you are a woman of God, and we have prayed before, so I'm going to ask you to close us out in prayer, Miss Clyde.
Let us bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this meeting. We thank you for the opportunity to sit together one more time to think about the things that we can make better in our community and the people that we can help. This is a beautiful place, Wakefield, where most of us live. We just want to ask you, dear Lord, that you would continue to uplift us here, to empower us, and to help us to be the kind of neighborhood and the type of people that we were some years ago. So we ask you, dear Lord, that you would help us to revitalize and beautify this place, and that you would help the board members, the new board members and the seasoned board members to continue to do the work of the community so that we can help each other. We thank you again, dear Lord, for this time together. And we ask that you would continue to bless us all. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 All right. Listen, thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic night. I was tried to do it in a good amount of time. We still ran a little over. My apologies. But listen, Mr. Neds, take care of yourself. We're going to miss you. But, best of luck to you in Assemblyman Dennis's office. Please don't hesitate to stop by and pay us a visit. I'm looking at Mr. DeCastro. Thank you for you being who you are, Mr. DeCastro. It's because of you. As I said, you've got myself, Clinton, John Isaac, Luke, Jerry, and everybody else to try to, pick up the pace where you and all the elders left off. So again, thank you so much for supporting us. Everybody, have a good evening, and we will see you soon. Don't forget,
Good night,
Alfredo's
everybody.
committee meeting is next week, Monday. The Public Safety Committee meets next. What time, Alfredo? Okay, he's gone. Anyway,
7.
7. Okay, all right. So good night, everybody.
Good night.